If you've ever stepped on a Lego and let loose a string of profanities that would make a sailor blush, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. Indeed, Tyler, what a wild week we are setting up to have, and we do have going on. We've made it to the middle of the week here. It is hump day, which means we've got Tim Melvin here today. Have some more news to cover, and we have another session to make some sense of. Hanging out around unchanged so far, but we'll see what the day brings. Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook, the Wednesday edition for March 4th, 2026, begins right now. Good morning and welcome back, folks. I hope that you all had a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. We're back for yet another fun day here on Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. Full slate for you here today. We've got Tim Melvin coming up. We have the Story Trading Boys after our show concludes here today. And we've got another market to trade here today. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces. In fact, Richard Judge is first here today. Let's go, Judge. We also have an all access, by the way. So as mentioned, we got a lot on deck here for you today. Richard Judge, glad you're first here today. Early bird gets the worm, buddy. Peter, good morning. Looking forward to Tim. Aren't we all? Aren't we all looking forward to Tim? I feel like. Francis, good morning. Welcome back. Marty, good morning. Welcome back. Marty's on his fourth waffle already. Marty, it sounds like you're having a heck of a good morning so far. Can't be bad with waffles and coffee. Got to be honest with you. Good morning. Welcome back. Judge mentioning that there's Moderna news. We're going to cover it. Solitary Soldier, good morning. Good to see you again. Astro Kev, good morning. Welcome back. Corey, it's great to see you. Yes, that girl, good morning. Welcome back. Jim, good morning. Zach, good morning. Lost Penny, good morning. Whis, good morning. Producers locked in and ready to go. Appreciate you, producer. Big Dave, what's going on? Azrar, good morning. Brian, good morning. Welcome back. Buffalo by Bicycle, G morning. I like it. Good morning, Buffalo. Kimosabi, what's going on? Good morning. Welcome back. Billy, it's good to see you as always. Tyler, likewise. Good morning. Robert, welcome back. Who else we got here? Dirkus, welcome back. Ed, welcome back. Joseph, welcome back. Day Trader, welcome back. Bernhard, welcome back. Forever 21 Bitcoin. Isn't that Barry? Isn't that Barry? Good morning, Barry. Welcome back. Jose or Josu. I'm just going to call you Jay Harris. It is your day. It's almost Christmas here. Broadcom earnings tonight. What's going to happen, Jay Harris? I know you're using a different name now, but I still know what's up. What's going to happen with those Broadcom earnings here today? Nights Lance, good morning. Welcome back. It's good to see you as always. Reaching Financial Freedom, good morning. Welcome back. Jane, good morning. Welcome back. Brandy, good morning. Welcome back. Fiden, good morning. Welcome. Creation, good morning. Welcome back. JJ, good morning. CoinFox, good to see you again as always. Carlos, welcome back. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get started with our stock market today. All right, futures in the green here ahead of Wednesday's open, near unchanged and actually down from the pre-market highs. We had some green arrows earlier this morning. S&P futures up by 0.17%, the Dow futures up by 0.06%, and the NASDAQ futures up by 0.33%. Let's take a look at some cues from last session. We almost closed green again, down by just about 1%, but we had a nice little bounce again. On Tuesday, materials and industrials led market losses amid concerns that rising oil prices and borrowing costs could slow the U.S. economy. Major tech names like NVIDIA and U.S. memory stocks fell, tracking declines in South Korean chip makers. Oil prices were up 3% as the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran disrupted Middle East supplies. However, the pace of gains slowed from past sessions after President Trump announced the U.S. Navy would escort tankers through the Strait of Hormuz and pledged political risk insurance for maritime trade transiting the waterway. Higher oil prices have stoked fears of stickier inflation, which could keep the Fed on hold for longer and remove the rate cut cushion markets have been leaning on all year. Wall Street's fear gauge, the CBO volatility index, jumped to 23.96 on Wednesday. That is its highest level since November. Investors on Wednesday will also be watching the ADP private payrolls report for February, along with the quarterly results from Broadcom, Abercrombie & Fitch, which were out this morning, and Okta. The 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.08%, and the 2-year bond was at 3.53%. The CME Group's Fed Watch Tool projections are still pricing in a 97.3% chance that we hold interest rates steady at the next meeting in March. Now, we've got several stocks in focus for you here today. Broadcom is going to be first, ticker AVGO. Broadcom shares were up 0.4 before the bell on Wednesday. The chipmaker is due to report fiscal first quarter results after the market closes. Analysts expect earnings per share of $1.88 on revenues of $19.18 billion. That is according to data from Benzinga Pro. Okta is going to be the next stock on our list. That's ticker OKTA, and it will report fourth quarter earnings per share. Estimate is 62 on revenues of $749.58 million after the market closes on Wednesday. We'll see if it's able to meet those. Abercrombie & Fitch shares, they were up 2% in pre-market trading. Wall Street expected the company to report quarterly earnings of $3.57 per share on revenue of $1.6 billion before the market opens. Now, we have that print here. Abercrombie & Fitch Q4 adjusted EPS of $3.68 beats the $3.57 estimate, and sales were in line at $1.669 billion. Abercrombie sees Q1 GAAP EPS of $1.20 to $1.30. That's versus the $1.39 estimate, so a little light there. Sales of $1.108 billion to $1.30 billion. That's versus the $1.47 billion estimate, so a little bit light on the Q1 guide as well. Full year 26 GAAP EPS of $10.20 to $11. That's versus the $10.22 estimate. And they see sales of $5.424 billion to $5.529 billion. That was versus the estimate of $5.478 billion. So pretty much right in line with the full year guide there on Abercrombie. The next stock on our list is going to be Box. That's ticker BOX. It posted upbeat earnings for the fourth quarter after the closing bell on Tuesday. Box sees fiscal 2027 adjusted EPS of $1.55. That's versus the $1.53 estimate. And revenue of $1.28 billion versus the $1.27 billion estimate. Shares were up more than 6% before the opening bell on Wednesday. Ross Stores is the last stock on our list. The ticker on this one is ROST, and it jumped over 6% before the bell on Wednesday after the company reported better than expected financial results for the fourth quarter on Tuesday. The company posted revenue of $6.64 billion versus the estimate of $6.41 billion. And earnings per share of $2 versus the estimate of $1.89. That is per Benzinga Pro. All right, let's take a look at the SPY chart here. So that little bit of pullback actually just kind of traded back into the range that we've really been in since October. We did dip into a support area that we had outlined here. This is the 667.34 to 673 area. You can see that yesterday's wick, we traded into that area, but again, we did bounce yesterday. We're still below the 100-day. This morning in the pre-market, we've actually traded above that, but we really need to get a close above that. If we can continue to push up, I would put 686.25 next. It's also worth noting that our volume point of control is pretty much right where we're at. So we'll see if we get any resistance from that here. That's going to be that 683 handle. We've seen 684 kind of be a sticky level, both for support and resistance in the past. So we'll see if we end up having any issue with that level here today. Now, let's take a look at some insights from analysts here. Oh, I scrolled past it. Or do we not have any today? How about that? Okay. No insights from analysts today in that story. Sorry about that. I actually do want to talk about the news that Judge was talking about. Let's take a look at mRNA. What we'll do is we'll actually start with the chart on this one. Here's what Moderna looks like. Really came in and created you got to think that this is a pretty secure bottom down here, about $24. We had one initial move up towards the 500, a pullback to the 50, which actually gave a pretty clean bounce there, and now a move back up to that 500. We're currently sitting at 54.40. We're up 9% here in the pre-market. So it sure looks to me that this 55.5 level, which is right where the 500-day moving average is going to be, is right now. It sure looks like this is going to be on deck here for today. So what we would be looking for some more bullish action to the upside here would be a close above this 500-day moving average. Actually, we'd like several closes above that, but the first one here might happen today. Now, what's going on? Well, Moderna shares are rising on Tuesday's after-hours session after the company announced it had reached a settlement agreement with Arbutus Biopharma and Genevant Sciences. Moderna announced Tuesday that it entered into a settlement agreement with Arbutus Biopharma and Genevant Sciences that resolve all litigation globally related to Spikevax and mRESVIA. The agreement also provides certainty going forward for Moderna's current infectious disease portfolio, including mNEXSpike and mCombriax. Quote, resolving these legacy matters from our pandemic response removes uncertainty and allows us to turn our full focus to Moderna's exciting near-term future, end quote. That came from CEO Stefan Bancel. Moderna is set to make a lump sum payment of $950 million in the third quarter under the terms of the agreement. The company will then appeal to the Federal Circuit Court to argue its government contractor immunity defense limits its liability. Good luck. If Moderna succeeds, no further payments will be owed. If Moderna is deemed liable, the company will make an additional payment of up to $1.3 billion within 90 days of the decision. So although this is getting a nice relief pop from this here today, this might actually spread into some other ones as well, some other names as well. There's still another overhang for this coming down the road. So if you're going to trade this, or I think even more so if you're going to invest in this, might be worth watching that. I think you're going to need to. Moderna said it now expects to end 2026 with $4.5 billion to $5 billion in cash and cash equivalents. That was down from its prior forecast of $5.5 to $6 billion. So Moderna hanging on to a pop here this morning. All right. Elon Musk says Tesla will be one of the companies to develop AGI, reaffirms humanoid robot ambitions. And this is a wild story here. CEO Elon Musk has shared bullish sentiments on the automaker's AI and robotic efforts, predicting that it will be one of the companies to develop artificial general intelligence, or AGI. In a post on social media platform X on Wednesday, the billionaire shared that he was confident in Tesla's AI efforts. Quote, Tesla will be one of the companies to make AGI and probably the first to make it in the humanoid atom-shaping form, end quote. If you want to go through any of the tweets or anything that's connected to this story, let me drop it here in the chat for you. Alphabet's Google DeepMind CEO Demis Hassabis shared bullish sentiments about the technology, predicting that AGI will have the potential to reshape the world faster than prior technologies. Quote, it's going to be something like 10 times the impact of the Industrial Revolution, but happening at 10 times the speed, end quote. Hassabis said this at the India AI Impact Summit this year. The prediction follows the CEO expressing his belief that the company's Optimus humanoid robot can become the first ever von Neumann probe and help humanity colonize other planets. A von Neumann probe is a theoretical machine posited by physicist John von Neumann, which is capable of creating replicas of itself by using planets' resources and in turn sending those replicas to other planets. This is the stuff right out of science fiction, and I am absolutely here for it. Tesla, during its Q4 earnings report, announced it was sunsetting the Model S and Model X vehicles. Tesla will instead utilize the Fremont, California facility where the premium models were being produced for Optimus production, targeting 1 million units per year for the robot. Musk has touted overlapping an Optimus Academy to train the robot using Tesla's reality generator used to train the company's full self-driving systems used in its vehicles. Musk also shared that Tesla's in-house AI chip efforts were progressing well, predicting that the company will develop a 2-nanometer chip. The CEO claimed that Tesla will have a 2-nanometer chip fab unit in the near future, adding that he could, quote, eat a cheeseburger and smoke a cigar, end quote, in the clean room. I don't know how clean it's going to be if you do that. Clean room is a highly controlled environment in chip foundries that lets ultra low amounts of airborne particles, humidity, and other things that could potentially contaminate chipsets. Tesla, their edge rankings here for Tesla, high score on the momentum, 82nd percentile, and a decent score there on quality in the 66th percentile. All right, some more news here about lithium. We were talking about Albemarle yesterday, and what a great trade that has been recently. Don't think that's going away here. There is indeed an impending lithium shortage. We don't have significant investments. Global lithium demand could exceed 13 million tons by 2050 under an accelerated energy transition. The number is more than twice the base case projections that consultancy Wood Mackenzie has warned about. Without significant investment, the supply deficits could emerge as early as 2028. The firm said even existing committed projects are unlikely to keep the market balanced beyond the mid-2030s. In the Energy Transition Outlook for Lithium report that was released on Tuesday, Wood Mackenzie models 4 energy transition pathways. Demand in 2050 ranges from 5.6 million tons of lithium carbonate equivalent under a delayed transition to 13.2 million tons under a net zero pathway. Under the country pledges scenario, the market would require an additional 6.7 million tons of supply by mid-century to meet projected consumption. The net zero case would require roughly 8.5 million tons more. Even in the base case, which reflects current market trends and policy momentum, supply struggles to keep pace beyond the mid-2030s. Thus, structural shortages could hit as electrification accelerates across transport and power systems. The delayed transition scenario assumes a more gradual clean technology uptake with slower emissions cut and weaker climate policies. Under that premise, the market would adequately supplied for 10 more years, tipping into deficit in 2037. The base scenario reflects existing policies and expected technology development, producing tighter balances in the 2030s. The country pledges scenario aligns with commitments under the Paris Agreement. It assumes governments fully implement their stated targets, creating deficits around 2029. Meanwhile, the most aggressive pathway, net zero, aligns with limiting global warming through rapid decarbonization of energy, transport, and industry, with deficits emerging in 2028 and persisting through mid-century. Quote, EVs remain the primary driver of lithium demand growth, but energy storage systems are the sleeper story, quote. And that is from senior research analyst Rebecca Grant. Across the above-mentioned scenarios, EVs account for between 72 and 80% of total lithium consumption. The total investment scenario plays out as follows: $104 billion under a delayed transition, $114 billion in a base case, $236 billion in other country pledges, and $276 billion in a net zero world. Quote, this is a $100 to $275 billion investment story, depending on how the energy transition unfolds, end quote. Grant said that, clarifying that capital must be deployed efficiently despite trade fragmentation and shifting regional supply chains. Lithium remains irreplaceable because of its unique electrochemical properties. It is the lightest metal, has a high energy density, and enables rechargeable batteries with long cycle life, making it central to EVs and stationary storage. Top producer SQM is positioning for tighter markets. The Chilean miner expects global lithium demand to grow about 25% this year and sees significantly stronger price environment in the near term as oversupply fades. Though its joint venture with Codelco and Atacama Complex, SQM is targeting roughly 30% growth production over the coming years. So SQM, ALB, those are going to be stocks that are still in play here. I know we've traded them recently. That's not going anywhere. If anything, it should be more center stage as we continue to move forward. Update here on the Strait of Hormuz, or at least a warning here from JP Morgan. They warned that the blockade could cripple Iraq and Kuwait's oil flows in under 2 weeks. JP Morgan analysts have warned that the ongoing closure of the Strait of Hormuz could significantly reduce crude oil supplies from Iraq and Kuwait within days. Analysts, as cited by Reuters, predicted that the ongoing Middle East conflict could lead to a cut of 3.3 million barrels per day by the 8th day if the Strait of Hormuz continues to be inaccessible. And actually, I did see a report this morning that some ship, I believe it was a container ship that was trying to go through there, was hit. So we'll see if the escort starts to shape up here. The Strait, a vital passage connecting the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman, handles about 20% of global oil and liquefied natural gas shipments. Iraq and Kuwait, countries heavily reliant on this route for their crude exports, could face a halt in operations with approximately 3 to 14 days, respectively. In the event of a prolonged closure, the losses could escalate to 3.8 million barrels per day around day 15 and 4.7 million barrels per day by day 18, JP Morgan further noted. 2 Iraqi oil officials told the publication that Iraq would be compelled to reduce its oil production by over 3 million barrels per day in coming days if oil tankers cannot navigate freely through the Strait of Hormuz to reach loading ports. The Strait of Hormuz was declared closed by Iran on Monday, sparking global supply fears and causing oil prices to climb. When last checked, WTI crude futures were trading 2.71% higher at $76.50 a barrel. Taking a look here at the crude futures here this morning, 74 on /CL there, so it's come in a little bit since then. Iran also warned that any vessel attempting to pass would be attacked or set on fire. Secretary of State Marco Rubio indicated that the Trump administration had anticipated a surge in oil prices due to the conflict and had a plan in place to alleviate the impact. He stated that the plan would be implemented by Energy Secretary Chris Wright and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Meanwhile, President Trump on Tuesday ordered the U.S. Development Finance Corporation to provide political risk insurance and financial guarantees for all maritime trade transitioning the Strait of Hormuz, sparking a relief rally in the markets. And actually, just kind of looking at the S&P chart here today, looks like we traded back down to VWAP and traded right back up to our pre-market highs. S&P futures holding higher here by 0.3% so far. Okay. Also, let me go back to a chart here. We got a couple minutes here before Tim. Let me go back to the chart. I want to talk about NBIS. I know that this is a stock that has done well for our group here. Got some more news on this. This has recently pulled back to its 200-day. That's notable. The last time it pulled back to its 200-day, it made a really nice tradable bounce that actually took us above the trend line here. Now we're coming back into that 200-day, and it looks like we're bouncing again. Got its sight set on the 50-day up there at 94.55. But what's going on? Nebius Group is advancing its U.S. expansion after securing local approval for a major AI infrastructure project while continuing to report rapid growth in its core AI cloud business. The Independence City Council approved Nebius's plan to build a large-scale AI factory campus, marking a key milestone for the AI cloud company. Once completed, this AI factory will be Nebius's largest in the U.S., boasting a capacity of up to 1.2 gigawatts. The campus will span approximately 400 acres and is projected to generate about 1,200 construction jobs, with 130 permanent high-tech roles anticipated post-completion. The AI factory will feature a closed-loop cooling system to minimize water usage and incorporate noise reduction technology. It will connect to Independence Power and Light, ensuring no increase in residential power rates. Over 20 years, Nebius is expected to contribute more than $650 million to the city and local school districts through payments in lieu of taxes, or the pilot program. In February, Nebius reported a fourth quarter adjusted loss of 68 cents per share, beating expectations for a $1.14 loss, while revenue came in at $227.7 million. That was below the $240.04 million consensus estimate. The company grew fourth quarter revenue 547% year over year and 56% sequentially, with core AI cloud revenue surging more than 800% and accounting for about 94% of total group revenue. Nebius said demand for its AI cloud business exceeded capacity, and the platform operated at peak utilization during the quarter. Annualized run rate reached 1.25 billion by the end of December, topping prior guidance of 900 million to 1.1 billion and more than doubling from the third quarter. Nebius reported its first quarter group level adjusted EBITDA of 15 million. Its core AI cloud business generated 51.8 million in adjusted EBITDA with a 24% margin. Nebius finished the year with about 170 megawatts of active power above its 100 megawatt target and secured more than 2 gigawatts of contracted power. Management expects contracted power to exceed 3 gigawatts by the end of 2026 and reiterated its goal of reaching 7 billion to 9 billion in annualized run rate revenue by the end of 2026. Recently, Compass Point launched coverage of the stock with a buy rating and a $150 price target. As a reminder, Nebius at $90 here in the pre-market today, so significant upside to that price target. All right, we talked a little bit about Broadcom as well. Broadcom is going to release its earnings after the closing bell today. Analysts expect the Palo Alto, California-based company to report earnings of $188 per share. That's up from $160 per share in the year ago period. The consensus estimate for Broadcom's quarterly revenue is $19.18 billion. It reported $14.92 billion last year, according to Pro. The company has beaten analyst revenue estimates in 4 straight quarters and 18 of the last 20 quarters overall. Shares of Broadcom did fall 1.6% to close at $313.84 on Tuesday. We can take a look at the chart here in just a sec. Benzinga readers can access the analyst ratings on the analyst stock ratings page. Readers can sort by ticker, company name, analyst firm, rating change, or other variables. Be sure to check it out. Here are some recent ones. RBC Capital analyst Mitch Stevens maintained the stock with a sector perform rating and cut the price target from 370 to 340 on March 2nd. The analyst has an accuracy rate of 81%. Citigroup analyst Atif Malik maintained the stock with a buy rating and slashed the price target from 480 to 458 on February 17th. This analyst has an accuracy rate of 85%. D.A. Davidson analyst Gil Loria initiated coverage on the stock with a neutral rating and a price target of 335. That was on February 13th of this year. Yet that analyst has an accuracy rating of 52%. Wells Fargo analyst Aaron Rankers upgraded the stock from equal weight to overweight and increased the price target from 410 to 430. That was mid-January of this year. This analyst has an accuracy rate of 86%. And Mizuho analyst Vijay Rakesh maintained an outperform rating and raised the price target from 450 to 480 on January 9th. His accuracy rating is 82%. So we'll see what Broadcom produces here today. Let's go take a look at the chart, see where we're at. Let's give Jay Harris some of his levels. Remember, we had recently coughed up the 200-day. We're doing a decent job kind of holding some of the recent lows here, but what we'd really be looking for is going to be a recapture of the 200-day and hopefully the 20-day. That would set our trend back in a positive direction. Furthermore, if this continues, in other words, if Broadcom breaks down after the earnings here today, we run the real risk of the 50-day then moving through the 200-day to the downside, creating a death cross. That might put more pressure on Broadcom, driving it lower, perhaps towards the 230 area, which is where the 500-day moving average is, or perhaps even lower to a previous breakout spot of about 186.5. So I think the earnings here are going to be pretty good for Broadcom. As the stats show, this company beats almost all of the time and certainly has done so recently. There are price targets that are nearly $150 higher than where the current price is. So we'll see which direction Broadcom goes after we report earnings today. At a pretty key place there on the chart. All right, folks, the wait is over. It's Wednesday. That means it's time for one of our favorite people. Let's go ahead, bring on Tim Melvin and see how he's doing here today. Tim, good morning. Happy Wednesday, dude.
Hey, happy Wednesday to everybody. Good morning. I hate to say I told you so, but I think I told you last Wednesday that this is exactly what was going to happen in the Middle East.
Yes, you did. You make a lot of good calls.
So there was no way. Now I'm going to make another one here, okay? Because I'm watching the chat and everybody's talking about what's going on over there, whether we're underestimating America or not, and you can't take down the big dog. I don't know which one of you guys said that, but cool remark. And you're right. Iran cannot take down the big dog. They absolutely cannot. However, they do not have to. Iran's goal is not to beat us. Iran's goal is to make the American elect at this point their winning strategy. Like, and by winning, I mean the leaders of Iran get out doing the Saddam Hussein necktie dance, right? Um, is to delay it as long as possible so the electorate gets angry and tired of it. Okay. Funny. I should change my name to "I told you so." My wife tells me that all the time.
Let me ask you, we need to know, this is just important for our statistical tracking here. Is your wife back, or are you still right about every single thing?
She's still in Texas, so I'm right about everything all the time. So here's the thing. The Iranians just need to delay and stall. The smartest thing the Iranians could do, and they're going to try it. If we provide escort services through the Strait, they're going to do it. I think they're going to try, because somebody else pointed out they got a lot of drones. You can't stop them all, right? It's just almost impossible. They hit our embassy in Saudi Arabia, right? If they sink a U.S. Navy ship in the Strait, A, the Strait's closed for some time. B, the political pressure back here in the United States is going to get ramped up to find a solution. So I would not be escorting ships through the Strait. I think the Strait is closed because we haven't even started. The Houthis haven't even started playing yet. So I'm not going to get into all the questions of who can have nuclear bombs and all that. I mean, I think the Iranians are genuine bad guys, and this had to happen at some point. But the other factor is, what's crude going to do today? What's crude going to do tomorrow? Crude's probably going to trade higher on this, right? This is going to be a disruption. Now, let's stop and think about this for a second, because this is the big story. All right. This, not the headlines, not the news out of the war. From our point of view in the financial markets, last week, we saw a few interesting reports. You saw PCE inflation, Ryan, come in at 2.9%.
Mm-hmm.
PPE came in red hot, 0.5 for the month, 3.4% core PPI over the course of the last year. We saw the ISMs on Monday. Most people don't read those, but I do because I'm a geek. The input cost of manufacturing production, right? The stuff that they're buying to make the stuff that we buy from them, 15% year over year. This is before the first shot was fired, guys. All right. Now, this whole house of cards is built on relatively low interest rates that allow for higher valuation levels. The only thing that has kept inflation moving lower, it was policy and politics and a bunch of other things, and Fed moves and higher interest rates from that 9.5% down to about 4.5%. That was policy changes and improvements in the economy. Okay. The rest of it, it's been oil. Go back and look at the actual price.
We've talked about it. We've talked about that here as being a major input. And as long as that price stays low, we're in the clear.
It's not a major input. It is the only input sector that has been down over the last year. Everything else has been up at least a little bit. So if we now suddenly get a regime change and oil prices are going to be higher for a sustained period of time, that changes a whole bunch of equations about everything. Okay. So I just wanted to point that out because that's the first thing that I kind of thought of when I saw what oil's doing. I'm like, okay, that has serious implications. How long is Iran going to take? Like every other conflict we've ever gotten into, longer than we think. The only one that was ever short was Grenada. And all Grenada had was a couple of pissed off Cubans with used AR-15s. Okay. I think Iran's got a little bit more than that they can fight back with. Its regime change is going to take some doing because they're still in control of the streets of Tehran, right? It's having an internal revolution where everybody rises up and steam storms the palace. Not sure that's going to work here. I hope it does, but I'm not sure it's going to. This could all take longer, and if we get sustained, watch the oil, watch the inflation numbers, watch the credit spreads, because if you start to see all of that moving higher, it's a problem for the broader market, not just for the oil sector or not just for war sensitive sectors. So
Now, what do you make of the small oil pullback that we're getting today? Does that cause you to like oil stocks at all?
I mean, look, I told you guys all last year to like oil stocks, right? I couldn't have yelled about it any longer. They were cheap. They were undervalued. I beat tables. I beat the tables with my forehead. I've been bullish on all things energy, but a couple dollar pullback, does that make me excited about anything? No, it's a market. It's a very news driven market. It's going to trade back and forth. Long term supply demand, 100%, settles the equation. And the fallacy that we are immune because we produce so much oil is exactly that. It's a fallacy. Okay. We can't refine most of the crude oil we produce. Right. 75% of our refining capacity
about that too.
Is for heavy crude. So we export our oil because we can't refine it here, and nobody wants to build a new refinery in their town.
That's right.
Right. And it costs, ready for this, between $1.5 and $2 billion to refit a large refinery for the lower grade of crude. And, we're just coming out of an administration where they told us, hey, I'm going to put crude oil out of business. We're just going to do all renewable everywhere. You guys suck. You're awful. We're just, we're not ignoring you. So, you know what happens when an industry hears that? They don't invest any money anywhere. They don't even try. And we're just now kind of peeking over the head, and there's still a lot of states in this country, where they don't want oil and gas infrastructure in their states. So, all of that not in my backyard stuff is another problem for refitting the refinery industry. If we take all of Venezuela's crude, in other words, just stop the illusion that we're going to sell it and give them money, right? Just go ahead and just take the crude. That is heavy crude, and we can run it through our refineries, and that solves part of the problem. But high energy costs are going to be a problem for this country. Louisiana and Texas produce some Texas tea. It's light sweet crude, guys, and that's most of our production in the United States. So anyway, that's my rant on oil, but I had to get that out there because, there's no doubt in my mind we're going to win this particular conflict.
Of course.
The combination of the United States and I think Israel could have run it on their own. But
my whole point here, or the way that I'm thinking about this whole thing is that our role in this is simply a supporting role. I don't think it's going to inevitably and lead to a whole bunch of U.S. boots on the ground. At least I hope not. Israel will handle that.
I think it is, and here's why I think that. And then I'm not going to get too political. Remember something, guys. When I criticize this administration, I criticized the Biden administration. I criticized. I'm a libertarian. I'm hardcore. I'm a constitutionalist, right? Government has exceeded its power, blah, 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 blah. I criticize them all. So this isn't personal about the particular president, okay? They told you in news conferences, all right? They went from no boots on the ground. Hexon said, well, maybe boots on the ground. To then the next speech that the president gave, he said, well, I'm not going to rule out boots on the ground, which tells me there's a plan for boots on the ground. You can't change the regime without it. Israel's army is not big enough, which means we're probably going to put boots on the ground. And like with a lot of these predictions, there are some where I really hope I'm wrong.
Me too.
Okay. But looking at past conflicts and look, that's not a tiny little army, right? They're rabid, drooling Islamists. And there's a fraction of that military that would love the fight. And they believe that Allah is going to save them. So they think they'll win the fight, which is insane. That's like me getting in with Mike Tyson and saying, dude, I'm Catholic. I'm going to kick your butt. It just ain't going to work that way.
That'd be a 2-hit fight, Tim. He hits you, you hit the ground.
No,
that's dude, how that one would work.
I don't hit the ground. I hit like the 30th row, man. I don't, he hits me. I'm going to need a flight number from the FAA.
Flight Melvin. That's not a bad nickname. Oh man.
Okay, all right.
Let's not go picking fights that you can't win, Tim. Let's not be like that, man.
No, look, I'm pretty good. When you're this smart, you're this small, with this big a mouth, okay, you learn how to negotiate it. By negotiate out of the fight, I mean run. So yeah, I'm pretty good at not picking fights I can't win. So, and it is interesting to watch all the speculation about what we're going to do and how it's going to play out. And we're going to do this, and we should do this, and we should do that's what a waste of energy and air. I mean, we don't know how it's going to play out. None of us are sitting in that White House office. We don't know what information they're looking at. We don't know what the conversations with go with Israel, and we only know what's actually happened by a little bit of footage we're getting from the various news agencies. So I mean, best here we don't speculate, particularly with our money, and just kind of wait and see how this plays out. If it all goes bad, we'll get some bargain basement prices that we'll just get rich off of. To be honest, if it all continues just as we are, then we'll stay in this dreaded, nasty sideways market that we've had since October. So personally, and I've told you guys this before, I'm in one of the few guys in America. I'm cheerleading. Bring it down. Come on. Let's have a 50% decline. That would be fantastic.
Kim, we've spent the last couple of years saying when are some of the inflated asset prices and multiples going to come into a sensible area? The value investors that we talk to all of the time are like, what do I do? There's nothing to do. It doesn't matter. Fundamentals don't really matter. We want that to return.
Right. And that, you know what? That's a conversation that I've heard before. I heard it in 99. We heard it to a different degree about different sectors in 2006. This is not a new conversation. And it gets very difficult. And Charlie Munger said, it was really hard to sit there on his ass with all that cash waiting for things to happen, but that's how he got rich. And that's true. I mean, if you've got the patience to the Hetty Green thing, right? Act like a lender in good times, and the mortgage REITs and the banks and the dividend paying stuff and collect dividends and fees and interest in the good times. And then when it all goes boom, and it always goes boom at some point. Okay. And it's just going to take longer than you think it is. The market, when it gets like this, needs a reason. Is the war a reason? Maybe, but we'll see. Valuation is not a timing mechanism, ladies and gentlemen. It is a measurement of how extended the market may be, but it doesn't tell you when it's going to go down. So if you just sit there and whine about, there's nothing to do, because stocks are expensive. I mean, stocks are expensive in the U.S. They're cheap as hell in Europe.
I was going to say, there's always something to do. There's always something to look for.
Yeah, so Peter Kundal.
We'll keep going after that.
The Kundal Value Fund, said that, look, there's always something to do. There's always a market somewhere that is just all schmucked up, right? Where there's going to be opportunities to do something. I mean, European banks have outperformed the Mag 7. Okay. When you look, you can still find bargain opportunities in Europe and Asia, and Japan is ridiculously cheap. And so please, all you guys that are talking about Japan and inflation and the prime minister and how they're about to collapse into the abyss, please keep doing that. Right? I got some more money to put to work. A little pullback there would, be in my best interest. So please, badmouth Japan, sell that ETF, sell it short. Just keep going. I need the rocket fuel. So that's kind of where I am at on the oil thing. I don't want to get go too deep down that because I do have some cool studies this morning.
Okay, well, we lost half the time already, so you better be quick on the studies, Tim.
All right, well, you know what? That's not a problem for me, fortunately. So first up, we have one. This one's just kind of cool because it just tells you how ridiculous the financial services industry is. One professor went out and he, Evo Welsh is his name, and he surveyed 254 finance researchers from top U.S. universities. These are the guys Wall Street relies on, right? And he said, look, these are the things that we're telling everybody works. How do you think that these things are going to work going forward? They made a list of 20 factors. First off, they think that equity markets going forward over the next decade or so, equities will provide a risk premium over T-bills of about 5% a year. Okay. Of those that are doing all this research and all the things you should be doing with your money, half of them have about, all of them have about half of their money just in index fund. That of the 20 major factors surveyed, all these things that they're telling you that work, the only ones that actually work are value, momentum, and profitability. Nothing else they think is going to work going forward. And then one of the things that I thought was really cool was buying high beta stocks, right? Which seems like such a smart thing to do, because if this market's going up, high beta stocks are going to continue going up. That hadn't worked. High beta looks into the rearview mirror. High beta stocks have underperformed low beta for 25 years in a row. They've underperformed on a risk adjusted basis, and they've underperformed on a raw basis. Um, and it's most of them do not believe that capital asset pricing models, CAPM, the holy grail of universities, don't believe it's going to work anymore. 20% just flat out says it's garbage. They all think we should still teach it. Why? Because they're teachers. So anytime you hear this, you have got to check that. That's I read all these studies. Most of them go into the garbage can because they don't hold up. Now the value momentum we talk a lot about here, so I'm not going to talk about that too much today, right? But the profitability factor, and Robert Novi Marks of Rochester University, I did send his latest study. I sent you some links to this stuff.
Oh, you did? Okay. I was going to say, I didn't see anything prior to us getting on, but
very late today. So, but when you use his research and you go and you say, what are the most profitable companies in the world? What are the profitable companies that I want to buy here? And I'm just going to do the calculation. And like I said, you can get the actual calculation out of the paper. I'll run it for you this morning. Hang on. Okay, the most profitable companies in the world. Tell me if you know any of these. Apple, Amazon, Meta, Lilly, Home Depot, L'Oreal. A totally unpronounceable name. That is I'm going with Italian. Fashion company. The symbol of trading here in the United States is IDEXY. Unilever, Lowe's. These are the most profitable companies in the world right now. Now, I put that together with some other research that we've looked at recently that said, hey, multi-baggers come from companies that are profitable and trade at high free cash flow yield. So let's do that because that'll be even more fun. So this will give us some stocks that are extremely profitable, but are generating tons of free cash flow. Now, we know that free cash flow can be used to buy back stocks, pay dividends, make acquisitions, all the very cool stuff that can help us make money, increase the value of the corporation. So let's just see. By market cap, well, yeah, we'll get rid of market cap. By free cash flow yield, OPFI.
Is this a ticker, Tim? OPFI? No.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just posted all of your links there in chat. I tried to do it all in one, but I think I got it now.
Okay. International Housewares. Now that's a penny stock out of Hong Kong. $68 million market cap, but it doesn't trade very much, so we better skip that one. Just looking for some of these are these are wildly profitable companies that are trading at very high free cash flow yields. Now, what is the symbol on this guy? EMBC, right? Embectacorp. It's a medical device companies providing solutions to people with diabetes. Okay, that's a very cool market. And stock's gotten a little beat up here. Trades at a very high cash flow, but it has a very long history of profitability. Oh, and I am a big fan of this one. Let's see, does it trade?
This actually looks like it's challenging a pretty decent support level as we speak.
Okay. Now here's one that I like this one. This is BMRRY. And I'm doing this, live. I did not pre-do any of these things this morning. So P&M European Value Retail.
This is another OTC name, huh?
Yeah, these are European. I mean, it's a $2.4 billion market cap. It trades a little bit, use a limit order, but it's discount retail stores. 7% dividend. That's probably a variable dividend based on cash flow, but we already established they have a lot of cash flow. They're kind of a Costco. Food, alcohol, housewares, home textiles, small electrical goods, organized into three operating segments, UK and France being most of the business. That's kind of an interesting company, folks. That's worth kind of, maybe a little bit of a deeper dive, based out of Luxembourg.
Sure doesn't trade like Costco.
No, well, it probably does in Europe, but no, it doesn't here. Crocs makes the list, for those of you that like those ridiculously ugly shoes. My son
It's
is
been a good trade, but man, the shoes are the most hideous things I ever
my
saw.
my son, my wife, and my daughter. They're ugly, but they love them.
Yeah.
And the first time I ever saw anybody wearing a pair of Crocs not inside their house was I went up to New York to meet with James Altosher, a friend of mine, and we were talking about doing a project together. And so we're sitting there, and he comes out and he greets me in the office in Crocs. I'm like, dude, you need a haircut, and you so
Did
let's
he listen?
no,
Of course not.
no. No, I mean, look, James is weird. He's quirky. He's also one of the most brilliant guys I've ever met. I walked through the park with him in downtown New York one time, through where the chessboards were set up, and he played like a few games at once and won them all very quickly.
It's funny when you see someone playing multiple games at once and have the board memorized.
He's like, James is one of the smartest human beings I have ever met, and genuinely a pretty good dude on top of it. So. But yeah, he wears Crocs everywhere, and my son wears them. I'm like, how can you go to the store in those ridiculous damn shoes? But he does. But I won't wear them. I think they're ridiculous. And then for those of you that really want to embrace some risk this morning, let's get out there and let's get into it. Kumba Iron Ore. The symbol here is KIROY. It's iron ore. Sells it all to the steel industry. And just to make this really dicey, it's a South African company.
I was just looking that up there. Okay.
Okay. And big fat dividends and cash flows. Again, kind of an interesting proposition. So there's some fascinating companies on here when we come back through and we look at, does this thing trade? Because let's take a look at that. Nope, didn't trade. So anyway, put profitability into your calculations, because it works as well as momentum and value, and it works in combination with momentum and value very well. One of Novi Marx's first research papers, back in 2012, I think he then did an add-on article about it. It was about gross profitability, but then he married it together with value factors. The numbers were amazing, and I think they remain pretty amazing today. So anyway, that's just something to think about now. Okay, now we're running down, so I got one more study, and I sent you this for Ryan, and we got to talk about this one because this is really cool. Hold on, let me get this thing up to the right place. Prediction markets, we all love them, right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're going to hate this one.
Oh, no.
Who profits from prediction markets? Execution, non-information. They got all the money, 222 million resolved trades from Polymarket, right? One of the big ones. So they decompose returns into two components: directional accuracy, where they write about what was going to happen. Did they execute it at a price that allowed them to make money? So 222 resolved trades. So this is not cherry picking. 1.98 million wallets, 32 billion in platform. They assessed 0 platform fees in their analysis. Okay. So total edge would be you got the directional right, you got the execution right.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 types of traders, folks. There's active retail, there's casual traders, and there's bots. All right. Bots, accuracy. They got the trade right 49% of the time. ROI per trade, 0.56. Active retail, those folks that get on there every day and they make predictions about a bunch of stuff and they're trading all the time. Accuracy, it's not random, 51.3% of the time. Right? They're getting most of their guesses right. Return per bet, minus 2%. 79 million aggregate loss versus 134 million aggregate loss gain for the bots. Why? They're executing poorly. by the time they decide to make the bet, it's already priced for success, basically. So they're making the bets too late. At this accuracy level, um, you would need probably to get 60 to a higher percentage of your trades right to execute at that high a level. So everybody's waiting too long to execute. Casual traders, less so. Accuracy 46%. They lose 3.45% every time they open their mouth. The only profitable group and the prediction market is bots. I will add to that insiders because we've seen that recently several times, right? Execution dominates this market completely. All traders show a break even to negative directional edge. Okay. 51% being the absolute best. But if you don't make that prediction at a very low favorable price, you end up with a net loss because your losses are much bigger than your gains. So that was just a little something I wanted to throw out there. Now here's something else, and here's why the execution is so terrible. 63% of the casual trades occur in the final week before the contract expires. The median retail trade occurs 3 days before resolutions, where the bots are trading much earlier in the life cycle. Bots earn a 14% edge when trading more than a year before the bet is resolved, and the edge falls to negative as time goes by. So it's kind of pretty cool that, because this reflects sometimes in the market too. You wait so long for everything to be confirmed that you're paying the price that is too high. See Cisco, 2000. So I just thought that was a cool study because it has obvious implications for the market. And it really looks and feels like to me that the big statement here is prediction markets exist primarily for market makers to make money. Stop me if this seems familiar.
I was going to say, it sounds familiar, Tim.
Yeah. But also, it is the most efficient mechanism for trading money from individuals to insiders with knowledge, politicians, right? Because we've seen a lot of money made recently by people making bets on things they clearly knew was going to happen. Right? This is it's the equivalent of St. Peter making the bet on Jesus coming back. Okay, people making the bet on the war starting the night before, certain bets that have been a little suspicious in the crypto markets, some things surrounding politics that have they're a little too accurate, right? So a lot of transfer from one pocket to the other going on, but the fact that the market makers bots are the only ones making money is a very familiar story if you're trading options or futures or some of that stuff, because it's also very true in those markets. So that's what I've got for you: a rant on oil, some very cool stuff on profitability, and warning flags from the prediction markets. So that's all I got.
Okay, well, as if we needed some more. I can't wait to hear what the next warning flags are, Tim.
Well,
look forward to having you back.
And remember that one study just shows you, right, that there's a lot of stuff out there that the people telling you that it's to do it don't think it works. The professors, the finance professionals, they don't even think it works, and they're not doing it with their own money. So, you know what? Read, evaluate, make sure that what they're telling you really does work. You'll find that most of it's going straight into the garbage can. Did I say our prediction market's good or bad? I thought I just explained that.
Yeah, he's looking for the TLDR summary of that. I'll do it for you. They're bad.
They're bad. I mean, it's like, prediction markets, what bettors are doing is they're betting the Los Angeles Dodgers on the money line. Okay? They're going to win most of their games, right? They're going to lose money over the course of a season because they got crappy prices on their bets.
Yeah.
Okay? So there you go. Never bet the favorite on the money line. That's a really dumb thing to do. So anyway, that's all I got.
I'm with you on that. Over under gives you more action anyway, but that's besides the point.
Okay,
you knew
guys.
I was going to slip that in there, Tim.
Yeah, there is a formula, Ryan, but that ain't it. So,
all right, Tim.
guys. Have a great week, everybody. Stay safe, stay profitable. We'll talk again soon.
All right. Sounds good. Tim, we'll catch up with you next week. All right.
Okay. Bye, guys.
That is Tim spending time being angry at everybody. But the good news is that he's still right about everything because his wife's out of town. So we're going to continue to benefit from that as long as that is the case. All right, folks, I got one tweet for you here today. So let's go ahead and take care of street tweets and we'll get on 13. All right, here we go. Need Jamie Dimon out there. I need his reaction to this stat. Morgan Stanley files an S1 for a Bitcoin trust ETF signaling institutional shift in crypto adoption. Where do we go from here? We've often talked about crypto being a risk on versus risk off indicator. We seem to be in a period of consolidation at the moment. Are we expecting another move to all-time highs? If and when? And what does the institutional shift mean for all of that? If you have Bitcoin trade ideas, whether it's a coin itself or a company connected to a coin, I am interested in it. Let's hear about that. All right, now let's break down some of the movers. Let's bring on 13 and let's get ready for the market open. $13, good morning. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
You know what? I think I'm having
What's up?
Trouble here. I can't see the chat. Nope, that's not it. This keeps loading. This keeps getting a spinning circle. I can't see the chat.
I will have to read it to you then. Another restream issue there for you. Look, do you want to knock down the movers list? Do you have any stocks you want to take a look at first?
Yeah,
or
that's fine. We can do that.
You can also try leaving and refreshing if you want. I can do a dance real quick while you're doing that. I might scare off part of the audience here, but
Say less.
All right. Well, I'm not. I guess I shouldn't have said that because I'm not actually going to dance. But let's see if we got 13's issue corrected here.
Yeah, I can see the chat now.
Bang, producer. Like I've been saying, man, I don't know what we would do without you. I really don't. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the movers. No?
I rely on producer for all my router needs too.
Frozen King, do a belly dance. Yeah, right. I'd rather pry my eyes out with spoons. Come on. Or listen to the nonsense that's going back and forth on a regular basis. All right, let's do those movers here real quick. We'll start with VSIG.
Yeah.
Up 291%. Or did they have a split?
Well, they did do a reverse split, a 1 for 60 last month, but not anyone more recent than that. This has had a very wild move from
I'd say
yesterday's low. 785 is where it came from, and we're up here in the 30s. Now we've come up to an area where we did get some resistance. We're experiencing that right now. That's the lows from December that we're dealing with right now. I think that's that we did pop up into this consolidation area, but we came right back down. We just lost 30. So this is all over the place. It's also very spready. Be very careful with this. The news on this one is that the company announced that they have an NVIDIA GPU powered compute center that they just opened or just announced in Malaysia. This is it's called the IntelliX Enterprise Large Language Model Platform. That's the reason why this is going here. The company is profitable. They've got the
NVIDIA news drop. We've seen it move these stocks before. Doing it again here. Still has that power.
Yeah, the company's profitable. They've got 35 million shares in the float. That's after this reverse split that took place on February 25th. It just happened. And if we can get back up above 30, then 30 is looking like the big resistance area. We only briefly popped up there. We're really coming back in right now. So if we do get some support, it's probably going to be down towards, I would say, maybe 21. Be careful with this one. There might be support coming around 25, but 21 looks like it's going to provide better support. Big moves in the pre-market here. Very spready, like I said. Just be careful with this one. You might even want to wait for this to kind of cool off and find some kind of support.
Yeah, first fair value gap in here that I see that could do anything is right around 18, right? So it's going to be right in here. Let me actually draw it here real quick. I'm not even sure I'm just not so sure about it. I think being careful here are really the good plan, but we'll see. Yeah, quick peek at the short interest on this. I don't think I heard you cover it there.
No,
1% with 1 day to cover, so fairly negligible. On average, this thing's a ghost town. So if you're going to trade this today, I think it's probably best to be out of it by the end of the day. We'll see. All right. Next, you ready for the next one?
I am.
Can Fight Biopharma. We've traded this one a number of times before. Can Fight Biopharma shares are trading higher after the company announced that its phase 2A study evaluating namodenoson for advanced pancreatic ductal adenocarcinoma met its primary endpoint. So good data here out of CanF. We actually traded up to 14. Come back in. We've retraced a lot of this move. We're still holding higher by 81%, though. Let's take a look at the short interest here. 6.89% of the float shorted with 1.15 days to cover. On average, the stock trades 45,000 shares. Done 26 million here today. 1.3 million in the float. What do you think here, CanF?
Looking through some of the past news on this company to get an idea of what this research is about, they seem to be 2 quarters ahead of where they expected to be at this point with their results. They were looking at Q3 2026 for this information, and they're getting it now. So I think that's a very good sign. This is just one of a few different clinical trials going on for namodenoson. And there's another one for liver cancer. That's already gone through phase 3, and they're meeting with the FDA and EMA, so that's ongoing. It's also for MASH. I'm not exactly sure what MASH was, but that's phase 2B. That's also ongoing. They also have a couple of drugs that they're working on, but we're not going to get into that. The company is, got some clinical trials that they're working on still. They're trying to get some drugs brought to market. Unfortunately, that's going to require a lot of cash, which the company does not have a whole bunch of. So they are going to need cash at some point. They did do a 1-for-3,000 reverse split back in December, which is sizable. That resulted in a 1.3 million share float. And then I was looking at where this may end up providing some support. I think I was looking at somewhere around 950 as a support area. We've lost that. So down we continue to go. We might get some support closer to 750, 775, but we have been going sideways for about 20 minutes now. So we'll see if we get some support going into the open here. But if we can turn around, I have VWAP at about 1047.
And I have us right in this fair value gap. It does look like initially when we entered this, we tried to trade back up to the VWAP, did not quite have the strength to close above that and move. So we'll see if this provides another move. No trade here yet, though. I want to see what the opening volume gives us. The volume's really died off on this since the impulse move.
Yeah.
Okay, next here I've got DLXY. This is Delixi Holdings. This spiked in the after hours yesterday. 250 looks to be the high there. It's come back in. What do we have on this one? Nothing. I got nothing on this. Looks like we got a Form 6. That was this morning.
I think that's what it's moving on.
This started moving yesterday. So someone new?
Well, because this was regarding a special or an extraordinary general meeting of shareholders.
Okay.
In which they are going to be, or when they are doing a vote, they had a vote on the 23rd of February. So I think this is covering all that and the results. I probably should have sent it through AI to get a more generalized look at this, but I didn't read through everything. So I don't know exactly what's drove this higher in the pre-market, but we've pretty much given most of it back here. Let me look at this. We are getting some, actually we're not getting really a whole lot of support from too many levels. There's some after hours and pre-market levels from 2 days ago that might be coming into play, but I don't know how great this is going to be because I'm not really looking and finding any kind of support except for about where we're at right now.
Okay. I'm seeing here if I'll tell you what.
The company is profitable annually, though.
These changes mean tighter voting controls by the parent via 50-vote Class B share and flexibility to execute a sizable reverse split, plus a new equity incentive plan that can add dilution over time. None of these actions themselves improve cash flow, margins, or balance sheet strength. So that is the AI summary of the form that you just talked about. So looks like the trade is justified based off that.
Other than that, it's moving on oil and gas.
So, okay. Next, do you have any other ones, or should I just roll down the list here?
Let's roll down the list. I just looked at those three this morning closely.
Okay. ADBV actually looks like this is spiking on some recent news here. This is Advanced Biomed. I don't have anything for this. Maybe there's something out there that's not yet posted. I don't know. I see that this is moving. Not sure what it's at. We'll see if we can grab that here in a sec. Quick peek at the short interest, 9.75%.
Sorry, it might be getting hit. It might be getting hit because it's a very low float. I don't know if we're just seeing some boredom. This just went through a 1-for-20 share consolidation reverse split last month. I don't know if there's any news on this. It doesn't seem like there is, but it seems like there's just kind of this search going on for some really low float names that haven't moved. This could be one of them. What's the chart look like? Kind of, yeah. So it kind of just unnoticed, kind of dead. But hey, it's got a low float, so let's hit it. That could be the mentality here.
Okay.
I don't see any news.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah,
okay. Exactly. So I'd be careful with that one.
Right.
And let me see here. I know this move just kind of started. Yeah, nothing useful here yet on some of those gaps. Okay, let's take the next one here. This is AIFF, Firefly Neuroscience. I feel like we've traded this several times before in the past. This one rings a bell. Shares are trading higher after the company announced a greater than 20-fold expansion of its commercial footprint and a 33-fold increase in its EEG ERP scan volumes. That's driving this thing from penny territory to dollar territory. We are up 66% on this. Pretty nice move. After what we saw for MobX, maybe I shouldn't act disgusted with penny stocks here today. Congrats, Rustam, if you're out there. 3.28% of the float shorted with 5.34 days to cover. On average, this thing only does 121,000 shares, and somehow it's done just shy of 57 million here today. Float is just shy of 12 million. What do you think on this former penny stock?
I guess I would need to learn more about how they've increased their commercial footprint while making less than $1 million for years every quarter. I don't get
something doesn't jive.
Something isn't adding up here.
Yep.
Where's the revenue for this company if they are expanding as they said they are? The company loses money. Looks like they're going to have to do a capital raise at some point. Probably not immediately, but they've got 4.3 million in the bank, and they lose. They have a net loss of about 1.5 to 2.5 million every quarter. Looks like that number has come down from higher losses in the past. So we'd need to do some more looking into on this. I don't know if they've got a capital raise. That this hasn't shown up on the balance sheet because they haven't had earnings yet. Looks like, okay, so here we go. They filed for a 250 million mixed security shelf back in December. I don't know if this was ever executed, but they are looking to raise capital because they need it.
Okay. We'll see what happens there with AIFF. Next here is going to be BW, Babcock and Wilcox. Now, this has been a big winner for our show here, right? This one, I feel like, has been a really good mover. There were a number of you folks that were trading this on the last move that was almost a double. That was basically 6 to 11 in fairly short order. Babcock and Wilcox Enterprises shares are trading higher after the company reported Q4 financial results. The company announced it received full notice to proceed on a $2.4 billion design build agreement with Base Electron. Looks like it's coming up to some resistance here at 10. Quick peek at the short interest on this name, 4.72% of the float shorted with 1.23 days to cover. On average, it trades 2.89 million shares. It's all actually done just shy here of about 700,000 shares. Float on this one's a little bit thicker at 78.4 million. What do you think on BW?
So there's another one that might be moving with this, Applied Digital, since this news covers, this very news covers working on their AI factory campuses. So I don't know if that's moving or not. I haven't looked, but
Which one? What's the ticker again? I'll check it out.
APLD might be up like 5 or 6%, I think.
Yeah, 6%.
So maybe that's another one we could keep an eye on.
Okay, another APLD. This is right into a resistance area there at 28. But anyway.
Yeah, I think because the earnings and miss. I don't think that's the big news here. I think the bigger news is that that 2.4 billion design. I think that's probably more what we're seeing the movement on. Floating this 78 million shares. And we're coming up here. Don't see really any heavy short interest. So this is all on the news. Seems like 10 might be a bit of a resistance area, but I don't want to say that we can't break through it. Let's see. If the next visit, I think, was going to tell us whether or not we get through 10 or not.
No, and actually, look, if you look the last time that we've come up to this 10 area, we have gone through it. It's just we've consolidated around it, and I would imagine we might do something similar this time around.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I see a lot of consolidation back from earlier this decade that with a lot of kind of topping out around the 1030s. So if we do go to over 10, that would be the next spot of resistance. And if and then after that, we have the 1157 high from last month.
Okay.
It doesn't look like it's ready to break down. It looks like it's going to try and push.
It actually does. Yeah, it actually does look like it's got some strength there.
And Joe, I got that, Joe. That's a good one. We were talking about Firefly.
Yeah, you like the series and obviously the name of the company, so that makes a lot of sense. All right, next one here, or the only two that I have left here. We can cover whatever else you want. This one's going to be JZXN. This is Juicy Holdings. We've traded this one before, or at least we've covered this one before. This looks like it's spiked up to 160 there. Let's see. This was the electric vehicles in Southeast Asia. They had some news here today. Announced a groundbreaking $1 billion plan to acquire 10,000 Bitcoin from a strategic investor. No word if that's Michael Saylor unloading his hoard. Just kidding. Anyway, they're going to try and get 10,000 Bitcoin here. Stock's up 20% on that. What do you think about that? What's a short interest on this one? 19.21%. There you go.
And it's a small float too.
Yeah.
So you could, I don't know how great this company is. I think when we looked at it, we determined that, be careful if you're going to touch this. This probably isn't one that you're going to want to end up holding on to at all. Just trade it and then be done. I get the sense that this was also another one of those junk names that, as soon as the trading happened, this went right back down. I haven't looked at the stock chart yet. Let me do that real quick. But I don't know. Bitcoin, we just talked about how that there could be a case about how it gets overtaken by Ethereum the next time it does maybe in the months after the rally following their next halving, which is going to probably, result in mining Bitcoin being not that profitable anymore. So I don't know how great that's going to be, but with regard to this, this thing, ever since that drop in December, this thing just hasn't been able to recover.
This is a no touch for me. I'll just make it easy.
Yeah. That's probably the best.
I don't know about you. This is a no touch for me. There's plenty of other good stuff out there.
That's probably the best way to look at this. I mean, I don't know that we go too far into the $1 handle, to be honest. So.
Okay. Next one here is going to be Beat. This is Heartbeam. This is another one that we've traded here before. This actually traded up towards 180 before coming back in, still holding higher here by about 12.25%. Heartbeam announces the first commercial customer as Clear Cardio brings a groundbreaking 12-lead ECG technology to high-growth preventative cardiology market. Guess if this works really well, this could be even better. Stock's up here about 12.25%. Quick peek at the short interest, 6.53%, 4.28 days to cover. So don't think there's going to be much going on there. On average, it trades 11.2 million shares, done just over 650,000 here today. Floats just shy of 30 million. What do you think here on Beat, Heartbeam?
I think they need to raise cash.
Okay, that's probably next. Probably why the stock is where it is right now.
Yeah, what's the float? 29. Okay, so I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to need to do a reverse split. They may, but more than anything, they are not going to have enough cash to really go a whole lot further with their business. So they're going to have to do that. I don't see any capital raises. So Yeah, I think I'd be careful with this one. It's, sounds great, like the news, but those finances don't look too appealing.
Not too great. Okay. There were several other. That's all I had from the movers list. Did you have anything else that you wanted to do? 13?
No. I love to take a look at what everybody else wants to look at, but
all right, we're going to do SSRM. We're going to do Ondas, and we're going to do MBOX here. So here, we're going to start with Ondas. Apparently, there was a new order here today. I noticed that is trading higher. This news came after I started, so I didn't go through it yet. Ondas receives a $20 million initial purchase order as a prime contractor under a strategic national autonomous border protection. So this is to develop and deploy multi-year autonomous border protection systems. This is exactly what we've been talking about and expecting, and we are getting that. Ondas higher here by 4.25% in the pre-market. Giddy up. I don't really know that there's much else I need to talk about here. We want to see these orders keep coming through. We want to see these orders move to the bottom line. We want to see this company beat higher this company can go if that's the case. This is a good news. This is a good piece of news that really fits nicely into the long-term thesis that I have for the stock. I guess several of you are on the same thesis now, so the ones that we have for the stock. I view this as great. I'll see here if let me see if AI can pull out anything that I might be missing there from the actual release itself.
Well, I am seeing that, more shorts are trying to come into this thing. This is the highest short interest it's ever had now. Days to cover is still, pretty low, but 33, it's a third of the float is shorted. That's never happened with this stock. So I think when it comes to news, you're going to see some potentially outsized moves because of short covering.
Let's see. Nothing else in here. Yeah. Nothing else. No other bullets in here that we didn't really get. Scalable sovereign defense capabilities with continuous AI-driven operation. Marks Ondas's evolution into a national defense prime contractor following its December 2025 selection for that program. So this fully entering defense here. This is exactly what we want to see. It's just another milestone in the long-term thesis that we have. We'll see how it trades here today. But good stuff. Okay. Next one was SSRM. That was from JP, right? Jamaican SP, excuse me. SSRM. SSR mining shares are trading higher after the company announced it entered into a binding memorandum of understanding to sell 80% of its ownership to the Koppler mine. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. And related properties in Turkey. So this is causing this stock to move higher here. We're holding by about 14+%. Quick peek at the short interest on this one. 6% of the float shorted, 3.5 days to cover. On average, stock trades just 3.6 million shares, only done 200,000 here today. So kind of low volume for its move here. 202 million in the float. What do you think, 13?
Company's profitable, has good revenue. Let me look and see what kind of debt we're dealing with here.
And actually, really quick, while you're going through that, I'm going to step away. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this company doesn't look like it's too bad at all. Looks good. Balance sheet looks strong. 80% of its ownership in the Koppler mine, so they're still going to retain some ownership. And I don't know where all this is located. I'm assuming it's out there. So it is in Turkey. Okay. Let's take a look at the chart because I really don't have anything more about the companies under the hood. It seems like it's a pretty good company here. Don't want to gush more on that. Let's take a look at the chart and see what we got here. So we hit 34.20 in the pre-market here. This is pretty close to some of the highs we were hitting a couple of days ago. Let me see if I can. Okay, this thing has been on a tear. So obviously, because minerals and mining stocks have been doing well, so why wouldn't this one? Got some trend lines here. We could potentially draw. Let's see what we get from that. I mean, this could, continue going higher. Let me see if I can find something on a larger time frame, because we're at some 52-week highs here. As a matter of fact, we're probably more like multi-year highs, maybe over a decade high. We're coming up to some areas of resistance from 2011 here. Maybe 33. Oh, we're at 33. 33 and change. 34 possibly might also be a resistance area. That's also an area of consolidation back from 2007 to 2008. So we're really getting into the history here with SSRM. We have not been at these levels for a very long time, and we are looking at some historical resistance back from 2011 and 2007, 2008. So maybe we go a little bit, maybe we go to 34. If we go a little bit higher, I'm not sure we're going to go a whole lot higher than, I would say, 37 and a half, 38.
Okay. Okay, good stuff there. SSRM, good breakdown.
And maybe we do go past that over time, but for today, with the excitement, I don't know that we go a whole lot higher than those levels.
Okay. Sean, Ryan, not to retract, but you're dropping more Ondas at 15 or upping that? I'm not doing it. I have no orders out for Ondas. I've already sold enough of it to really kind of make myself comfortable with how much risk I still have left on the table, given this huge run. And actually, my other trading has been pretty good right now, so I don't feel the need to raise any more cash. I have a good amount of cash in case the market rolls over, which is kind of what we've been waiting for. So, Sean, as of right now, 0 orders to sell Ondas. I can wait out next several years here. I do think eventually, years down the road, this is going to be exponentially higher than where it is. That is not financial advice, and I am not telling you to buy the stock, just to be clear. But I feel real good about where my position's at, and I'm in no hurry to sell more. I'd rather hold on to it and have it keep appreciating.
Yeah, Lion, I think that's what I'm looking at here too. This thing is pretty extended, especially when you look at a monthly chart. Since August last year, this thing has been on a pretty good run. Had some consolidation in Q4, and then we started going some more. So we could continue higher, but I don't know if that's going to happen today.
Okay. Knarp asking, what else are you holding long term? Well, of course, Apple, that was one of my bigger positions. And of course, Starwood, ticker STWD, that's my biggest position. That one pays a dividend. But I'm also holding Costco long term. I'm holding GRNT long term. I'm holding IDAI long term. Unfortunately, I was kind of hoping that would be a little bit faster, but in no hurry to sell that. Telomere, X-Ray, and CGC would be some of my other speculative long-term holdings. Another long-term holding that's not speculative is going to be GEV, but that's small. It's not as big of an investment as some others. I am hoping, because I've been raising cash over the last several months, I am hoping to deploy and add new long-term investment positions. But presently, I've just been added to the ones I already feel good about.
And I'm looking for some too. We were talking last night. I'm looking for some stuff.
I'm looking for some stuff too. 13, I love the battery theme. I don't have enough exposure to that. I feel like right now, we talked about lithium earlier. I feel like kicking myself for missing the Albemarle move last. So I'd be looking to get back into that at some point. I know we've talked about shipbuilders recently. There's been a lot of other stuff here. I haven't really dove into that for the long term yet. Really what I'm hoping and waiting for here, like tactically, I'm waiting for kind of a move down. Maybe something like we had last year.
Yeah, we had a great conversation about this upcoming this company that's going to be having their autonomous ships produced. They're starting to get built this month by what was that company's name? Well, it's a shipyard that's out in Louisiana. They've got shipyards in Louisiana and Texas.
It's not Huntington Ingalls, is it?
No. Remember, I texted you yesterday. It's an OTC, unfortunately, but I don't think that really matters a whole lot. This thing's been on an absolute tear.
Oh yeah, here that was CNRD. That was Conrad.
Conrad, that's it.
That's what it was.
Yeah, they're building.
Here, let me pull that up. I know it's OTC, but let's see what we got for it.
Yeah, so this thing has been on a tear ever since with the other one, since we've got that Liberation Day unwind. After that, this thing ripped. Now, I'm not interested in this right now because it kind of looks like it's toppy. But this is building 10 to 20 ships for We've got to go fast because we have less than 30 seconds. This is building ships for Blue Waters Autonomy. They're going to be building the Liberty class ships. That's going to be used primarily for transportation. They're going to transportate supplies. They're going to provide working decks for operations. It's mission critical, and mission. They're upgradable. But this is going to be a completely autonomous vessel. They're going, like I said, they're going to build 10 to 20 every year. Liberty ships, if you recall, we're open now. They were the World War II supply ships, so that's where they're getting their name from. All right, enough of that. Let's look at these movers here. Oh yeah, go BM&R. This has been great ever since we got that move from.
Where's Corey? Where's Corey? SPY up out of the gate here, although it's early. I wouldn't be head faked by that move just yet.
Thanks for that information there, Lion. That's great. I got to remember that to look into that if we're going to be focused on SSRM. They did have a mine incident. Appreciate that.
Nice move here on the S&P out of the open. All indices here in the green. S&P right up to the top of the pre-market range. I should say SPY right up to the top of the pre-market range there. It looks like 683, 684 going to be that level we need to get over.
All right. So as far as what's happening here with these movers, VCIG tried to get going here, but it looks like it's putting the VWAP under pressure. CANF trying to get over its VWAP. DLXY, this was leaking into the open, seemed to have put in a bit of a support area down at 120. Now it's trying to recapture its VWAP. BW done nothing so far. Same thing with JZXN, nothing there. Beat, here we go. Now this is starting to go. We're looking to take out that 179 high that we put in the pre-market. We just kind of shot right up there. And wouldn't you know it, there's some sellers in the way here from 179 to 182. So we might get a little bit of resistance here, but if we can chew through those sellers, we're looking at new session highs here. SSRM now losing that $33 level, and then view up at the same time.
VSIG is halted to the downside, by the way. Beat this basically just went up to the pre-market high there. And that initial move higher there in SPY retraced about 50% of that. Lion here is asking, here's the question, do we need to sell this pop? So I'm not in this pop, so nothing for me to sell here. I would rather sell the pop if it breaks above that pre-market range there. So if it makes a move towards 684, I'd probably take gains on that. Realistically, though, I kind of like the SPY to come back in a little bit more towards the VWAP. Sitting right on its 9 EMA right now on the 5. It actually looks like it wants to try and push higher here.
Two halts right now. VCIG halted to the downside. CANF halted to the upside. CANF.
Oh, I didn't actually
after this on halts, this this looks like it's trying to turn around here. We got some momentum curling to the upside. So let's see what we get here with CANF. We might be able to start recapturing some of these double-digit levels.
Lion, I've got no indication. I've got no indication yet that a buy for SPY has triggered. So nothing there yet. I'm sure you're selling the pop though.
BW going, beat coming off of the 175 area. Some of the other ones still not doing a whole lot yet.
Bitcoin highs, Amazon highs. Izzy, are you scalping Amazon today? You didn't really get a pullback to add. It just kind of moved right out of the gate. Ondas highs. See if we go back towards 11 here today. VIX is actually holding here 22.42. So yesterday, I know we hit a high at 28. We've backed off that about 6 points. Still elevated here above 20, though. Apple at the highs. Netflix at the highs. Netflix looks like it might tag 100 today.
I'll go look at ONDS. Not really giving a lot of moves today there, Joe. Well, I mean, it went. We did have a nice pop up to 1082.
I mean, it's up 6.5% right off the opening print.
Right, but it is running into some resistance in the 1080s here, and I do see some size that could be a bit of a problem unless we get some good volume to take it out. You've got a couple of sellers, and maybe it's the same person. 1078 and 1080 have some pretty large size there, with even a larger amount, a massive amount of shares looking to get sold at 11. So there could be some, we're going to need to see some good volume here in order to get through all this selling.
Looks like we had a nice little pop there out of the open, retracing some of that at the moment. This is when the news dropped. We dropped when the price was down here about 1025.
BW, this is trying to come up to that high from last month. Looks like 11 is going to be next, followed potentially by the 1157 high from February 4th.
Nice little continuation move out of the open here on BW. Grats to all of you that were trading this one. I know we talked about this earlier. Day trader, grats if you're still on this one. I don't know if you traded it. I know you were mentioning it. Not sure if you were trading it.
ASTS, let's take a look there. Well, it's back over 100, coming up to some resistance. We climbed over the 20 and 50-day SMAs. Yesterday, we were rejected by the 50. So we're above the 50 now. This has been consolidating for pretty much about half the month of February, trying to put in a base here. It's coming back up. We did just have earnings, I think, as I recall. Come on, load up. There we go. Yeah, so we just had earnings. Company's still not profitable. They missed on EPS. But it seems like their revenue is increasing. So we are probably seeing some of that contract revenue show up on their balance sheet now.
What do you think about this round 100 number? What do you think about the price action around this? I mean, I feel like last time, didn't we? Yeah, the last time, yeah, this on the way back up here, this candle that popped it above, we actually continued to trade higher. I know we eventually came back in here. I'm wondering if this serves as a launch. Let me make it simple. I'm wondering if this serves as another launch pad up towards 120.
It's a support and resistance area. And so the first time it came up here in October last year, it was rejected. So it's resistance there. Then the second time it came up here in January this year, we broke over it. We used this as support for it looks like a couple of weeks, and then we lost it again. So I'm looking at this as a support resistance area. We could get rejected by this, but if we manage to meaningfully shoot over this $100 area and close above it, if we backtrack and come back in, I'd be looking at $100 as support at that point. Now, okay. I think that there could be some resistance in the 115 area if we get up there pretty soon.
VSIG is open. Sorry for interrupting.
No problem. VSIG not doing a whole lot just yet.
It's trying to get above its VWAP, but it can't do it yet.
I have a trend line in ASTS that I drew from the June 24th and July 21st highs from last year, and I just kept it going, and that provided some interactive price action here from the candles, and I think that this could be a resistance area because it acted as support at one point, it acted as resistance at another, and I think that this is going to be. If we get up to 115, this could be the spot where we get some resistance on the way up.
I have just the way I drew my line. I have it at about 106 for today, 13.
G-Man has also got some resistance at 102.79. Let me see. Okay, so you're basing this off of the high from October 2025. And that's another reason why I'm looking at that particular area as the $100 area as support and resistance, because we don't have any close from that time above $100. We tested it, we traded above it, couldn't close above it. So yeah, I agree with that area being resistance, but I also like the solid $100 level as resistance since we have no closes above that from that time.
VSIG turned around. So as soon as it opened, it looked like it was going to try and bounce. That looks to resume some of the selling. Looks like SPY is coming in a little bit as well. Netflix going right for 100, and CrowdStrike, which basically was flat post earnings, is rolling over a bit here. You had said CAN-F, right?
Yep, CAN-F higher. It unhalted. This is trying to push further into the 10 handle. Looks like you may get some resistance. There might be some at 11, but I see some pretty tough resistance. It's a support resistance area from the pre-market at 1140. Looks like we're about to halt again. And we halted again.
Halted again on CAN-F. Okay.
Yep.
Nice through the VWAP there. Is anyone on that?
Looks
I
like
did not
Kathy.
take CAN-F.
Looks like Kathy is. She just mentioned it. Don't know if she's got a position, but this is providing some trades here. This looks like and I don't want to make any promises, but the MACD is curling up. It looks like we're getting some momentum to the upside here. And if we can get through those areas I just mentioned that have resistance, we may end up hitting this pre-market high again. ONDS, after that pop to 1082, this is coming back in.
Did it retrace that whole move so far?
Yes.
This is again why you definitely don't want to chase these moves here.
Yeah, no chasing. ZXN. This tried to get going here. It looks like it's still moving away from the 65, 200 EMAs and VWAP. It's starting to get going here. Maybe there's a trade, but understand what you're trading here. There's a lot of risk with this one, and it's a very low float. So lots of wild price action here. There is a bit of a trend line that we could probably draw. I don't know how great that's going to be. Maybe it indicates that this is going to start to get going now, but I'm not going to hold my breath on this one. I see a lot of sellers in the way to the upside. So maybe it could be great. I don't know how great it's going to be.
Moderna, this is giving back some of its pop here in the pre-market. BMNR, this turned around a little bit. Bitcoin did the same thing, but Bitcoin's not breaking down. So it set a new high and came back in just a tad. Palantir at the highs. Apple has come back in. Amazon also came back in off that initial pop.
I would expect Bitcoin to kind of chop around for a little bit, as it does when it's trying to establish its base from the fall that it typically has every 4 years after rallies. So now that we're down here with the previous breakout level where the previous highs were, this is where we should start seeing the consolidation. So far, that's begun. And I don't know that we're going to, turn around anytime soon. This is the highest area of the consolidation so far, but I get the sense that we're going to continue to see a lot of back and forth in Bitcoin before we actually turn around and start moving back up.
EDSA, this basically went to the pre-market highs, Kath, and backed off of it.
Matt, we didn't go over KLTO, and G-Man also wants to look at Netflix.
Netflix is just a spike right out of the open. Does look like it's kind of slowing down here near 100. Here's KLTO. This is Clotho Neuroscience. This actually back above the VWAP here. Penny stock doing its best to hold this. I guess after what we saw with MobX yesterday, maybe this is your penny runner for today, Matt. Retro here saying ride Bitcoin coattails, Ethereum. We actually had a lengthy discussion yesterday on Happy Hour about how Ethereum might actually replace Bitcoin as the dominant crypto. I don't know if any of you agree with that, folks, or with that discussion. EDSA is trying to go for a new high. Sorry, 13.
It's okay. NPT is halted to the upside. This is a mover, I believe, from yesterday. Yeah. This
still
just
don't
started.
Have it.
NPT just kind of didn't do anything right out of the gate, but just a moment ago we had a spike that took us up over $13, and we're halted now.
Yeah, Kevin, the ETHA or Ethereum having the better technology, that was really the crux of the discussion, and how that might take over just because of its utility.
So it's a because you have Bitcoin that's on a proof of work. I'm not sure of what the name of it model, I guess. Whereas Ethereum is a proof of stake. Requires far less energy consumption for Ethereum, whereas Bitcoin is going to be a point where the rewards for mining it are not going to outweigh the costs. It's not just electricity costs too. You've got got to have a place to put it. You're going to have property costs. You're going to have depreciation of the equipment you're using to mine all of this. I mean, the costs are going to add up, and at some point, and I think it's going to happen as soon as the next halving, it could be that Bitcoin just doesn't provide enough rewards to make it a profitable business to mine anymore. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here, and I think that's one of the big reasons why Ethereum may end up taking over Bitcoin, or not taking it over, but replacing it as the lead cryptocurrency.
RCAT kind of a big pull here. I mean, gets only 4%, but that's pulling back here. I know we talked a little bit about Ondas pulling back. Ondas still green because of its news here this morning, but RCAT down 4%. That actually had an initial move higher as well. IGV showing up on the scanner list. This holding the area after its trade up yesterday. Let's see if the software names are in favor again here today.
Excuse me. No, CW, I haven't. This looks like it's also a new issue. Tell me if that's the case or not. But I really just haven't had a desire to delve into some of these crypto stocks that have and I don't know if this is a treasury one or not, but it seems like it is. I just haven't really been, enthusiastic about looking into those some more, because I'm not sure which ones are going to do well and which ones aren't. I'd like to see a little bit of an emergence here with some of these names as to what the clear winners are, if you get what I'm saying. Also, real quick, CANF and VSIG halted again to the same directions. The CANF one, this is still the same one, but VCIG, I think this is another new halt here to the downside. So no, I haven't looked at CNN, TN regarding
VSIG. Yeah, indeed. This is going to be this is
unhalted.
It's unhalted now, so it has halted twice today. 13.
Yeah. So we should see CANF unhalt pretty soon too.
Market right, or SPY, I should say, right at 680 as we speak. So that's pulled back off that initial move to the pre-market highs. We'll see if 680 holds. I would say next you're probably looking at 679. I know it's only a point lower, but that was another pre-market low where we turned around. Microsoft still flat here today.
Folks saying that Ethereum, better technology, cheaper and more. I mean, yeah, that all sounds much better. I mean, and I was just looking at the Bitcoin charts, and it seems like every time that we have these breakouts past the prior all-time highs, the rally is much. It doesn't go on for as long. It's less and less each time by about a third. And I'm wondering, well, this next one, if it's another third, that's going to be 100%. We're going to see 100% difference, meaning it's not going to go anywhere. We're going to get out to the previous all-time highs, and that's about as high as it's going to go. So roughly 120,000 per Bitcoin. Now that's just a prediction. I don't know if it's going to actually happen, but it seems to me like once we get that halving, it's going to put some real pressure on miners.
The CoreWeave news that Billy is talking about here, CoreWeave actually is trading back down. It's still up by just about 4%. CoreWeave was trading higher after the company announced a multi-year partnership with Perplexity to support its inference workloads on CoreWeave Cloud.
Just kind of looking through some of these names we were looking at earlier. Kind of sideways at the moment, lots of back and forth. JZXN still trying to push higher, but not really doing a whole lot. BW, this gave back the move. Still waiting for that unhalt from CANF. What else here? DLXY. This one's really not doing a whole lot this morning. And ONDS. SPY is
trying to bounce right off of that 680. We've bounced a point so far.
ONDS went down to some of the pre-market lows, getting some support there. It's underneath the 65 and the 200 EMA, so it's going to have a little bit of a task to get back above those, I would say.
Okay. Producer, if you're ready, we do have an all access here, 13. It's only 5 minutes. It's real short, so I feel like we can probably do that right here. Let's go ahead, producer. Let's run that all access.
Let's go.
Made me huge first. I don't know what he's doing. Hey Zingers, welcome back to another All Access. Today I'm going to be speaking with Rick MacPherson, President and CEO of BirchTech, now on the New York Stock Exchange, ticker BCHT. BirchTech develops activated carbon technologies and provides consulting services to remove the mercury from the air that we breathe and forever chemicals from the water that we drink. All Access starts right now. Hey, welcome back, Rick. How you doing?
Oh, great. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. No problem at all. Let's just go right into it here. BirchTech just completed its uplisting to the New York Stock Exchange. Congratulations, by the way. From the over-the-counter market, what is the driving force behind making this a reality?
The big thing was we wanted to have access to the institutional investment market, which we now have. And of course, we wanted really good third-party analyst coverage, which we now have as well, which will be added to as we go forward. So those two things, along with the expected increase in liquidity, are very key drivers for us.
Okay, and why is the uplisting to the NYSE such a big deal for a company like BirchTech? What does it give BirchTech access to?
Well, it gives us access, as I said, to that institutional investment market, which doesn't participate in the OTC. That's the big key reason. But also, it gives us that very solid third-party support from analysts that work in that field that will be telling our story to the folks that can now participate in our stock.
Okay, fantastic. And as we know, timing is everything. That couldn't be truer of the uplisting for BirchTech. Why is now the perfect time for the New York Stock Exchange American listing?
Well, the timing is very good for us as we move into the water market in particular in a big way. Our expansion into the water market, water purification, meeting the PFOS regulations, along with the engineering firms and the water utilities across the country, is a highly significant move for us into this industrial base. And a lot of the companies that we do business with are also represented on the NYSE. So it just made sense for us to be there as we grow the company out. And the raise that we had during the uplisting is extremely significant in providing the CapEx requirement that we're going to have in building out the plants that we have envisioned.
Okay, sounds like you have a good plan there. Now, you focused on removing toxins out of the air initially, and more recently now removing toxins out of the water supply. Can you provide an update on how those businesses are doing?
Yeah, sure. So our core business, the legacy business of removing mercury from air emissions, is doing very well. We expect a solid uptick in that this year in 2026. And the skill set that we had in that business transferred nicely our experience in carbonaceous materials into water purification. So we've made a very seamless transition into this industry, which is 10 to 20-fold the size of the air business that we were working in. So we're seeing immediate results and expect to bring some great news to market throughout 2026.
Okay, sounds like a good natural way to expand there. Look, BirchTech has cash in the coffers now from the recent public offering. What does the company plan to do with its growing cash balance?
Well, two things in particular. Our research and development side is growing very well. We will enhance that somewhat as we move through 26. We see that division as becoming a real profit center for us, but also it's our approach into the market, into the water market itself, that's going to make it so successful long term. So not only will it help us build our presence in the water market, but those funds will be required for us to add to the debt-based financing of the plants that we expect to build out in the coming years. We don't see the need to go back to market over the next 3, 4, 5 years as we build the size of the company significantly.
Okay, fantastic. That sounds like a great growth strategy there. Look, Rick, thanks again for joining us. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to following up with you on future advances for BirchTech.
Yes, thanks for having me. Very much appreciate it.
All right, no problem, folks. That is Rick MacPherson, founder, president, and CEO of BirchTech. That's ticker BCHT on the New York Stock Exchange. Thanks for joining us for another All Access. Now, we're going to send it back to Ryan. Thanks, producer. Thanks, Ryan. How you doing, 13? Just finished. Just finished a scalp here on the S&P. Used some 0 DTE calls.
Nice.
This actually might keep going here, but really need to clear out this area right here, about 682. This is a resistance spot for it right now, so we'll see. NBIS also, we talked about this earlier. This ripping right out of the gate here. We'll see if we get 100 test on NBIS.
Well, we had that going on. We got a big move out of JZXN. It's still going. Just be careful with this one. The float's very small. Might see some resistance from these pre-market highs. So it could be about 150 to 162, 165. Where we see resistance kick, and I see a seller on the way up 155 also. Still waiting for CNF to unhalt. It's interesting because VCIG has gone through halts and unhalts while CANF has not. So I'm starting to wonder if there's something else coming here with CANF.
Okay. And by the way, SPY rejected right at that resistance area. Okay, let's see if we get set up here for another one. Amazon at the highs. Bitcoin actually trying to bounce too, and the VIX still holding at about 22.5.
JZXN still going. Super low float getting extended here. Coming up to some resistance. If this continues to go, I mean, I don't know where this is going to end up going if it goes past the highs. Maybe we see some high $2 prints. I see some resistance from last month where these candles about mid-month were trying to get over $3. Couldn't get past 290. It looks like. So maybe that's a potential area if this continues higher.
Okay.
TTD almost filled the gap, says Jay.
Ooh.
VSIG, Danex says VSIG, my cost 250, have 20 shares.
He's joking.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe he's not. Maybe he's just kind of poking fun there.
Well, hopefully it works out for you and your 20 shares.
Here's your TTD. Jay, you think TTD rolls higher? Let me know.
DLXY continuing to look like the worst one of the day. ONDS is trying to go for second place. This looks like you're going to get some support down around 10. It's been getting support in that area for the yesterday and the after hours. So let's see if that provides some support again here. We're almost there.
Let the flippers trade out of it.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I have more of a long-term approach as opposed to trying to go trade the back and forth every day. However, if you figure out a pattern and you're successful in doing it, giddy up, more power to you.
Watch BW for volume increases. It's trying to recapture the VWAP. It's slightly trading above it right now, but if we get some volume expansion here, it looks like we could be coming back up towards some of the highs we made. Smart flare.
Yeah, I guess maybe. I'm not making a trade off that line. Not sure the CEO is a smart guy. He may have did what Intel kitchen sink guide on the last report. Okay. So you don't necessarily I don't know how to read that, Jay. You think there is more upside? Blaze Rhino, that was what 13 was just kind of wondering about. Maybe there's another reason there. I didn't have any notification that it was halted for news pending or anything. Let me take a quick look at the news feed and see.
JD, they can because you've got a
circuit breaker. It said
there's you've got different volatility, different some different regulations. I think it's just going to be the way they trade. I don't think there's a whole lot that's preventing them from acting differently, but you should see them trade because they're largely foreign securities that are trading on U.S. exchanges, and so they do have the same regulatory halts, but they're a different structure. So you're probably going to end up seeing them trade differently because of that.
Yes, Jay, I do remember the Intel guide. That was actually one of the really good trades that we made on Intel. There were two really good ones. So you're saying that maybe if it has an Intel like guide, it can continue to go higher. I don't like TTD personally. I have no position on that.
I mentioned a SPAC yesterday that I'm keeping an eye on. SVIV, that's starting to get a little bit of attention here. It's very, very thinly traded, but just watching this one because I think when they announce a company they've selected to merge with, we could see some pretty good price action. So I think it's worth keeping this one on your radar. We've seen with how these have traded in the past. This isn't something I'm suggesting is going to be a great long-term hold or anything like that. I think this is just going to be a good trade for when they announce who they're merging with. ADVB halted to the downside. Is that one we were looking at today? I don't think it was.
I can bring it up though. ADBV.
VB,
No, VB. Okay. I
Advanced
was going to say
Biomed.
I've got it wrong there. I've got the ticker wrong there.
So this one did have a nice run up in the pre-market, and then it gave everything back almost by the time it opened. Now we're sitting here at pretty much bottom prices. I don't know what more is going to happen here. It's halted, right? It's given everything back, and we're halted. So maybe it turns around.
Sorry to interrupt here. AIFF just very quickly recaptured the VWAP, is still trying to push higher here. I would imagine 120 is going to be your next spot, and then maybe 134, 135. And then Webcoin saying that the Cloudflare news is interesting. That's ticker net. SPY, darn it. Was just a little too slow there. SPY actually pushed through its 9 EMA there. SPY looks like it's going to try and go back towards that 684 area. Currently battling with 682 right now. Webcoin, well, let me see what the news was here on Cloudflare.
You got to be
names. Is it Webcoin? I got it here. Cloudflare CEO named a suspect in the Spanish football probe, which I'm not even sure what this is. Webcoin doesn't sound good though. It's paywalled here. Illegal football broadcasting for Cloudflare. I wonder if this is something tied to like those pirate sites.
Oh no,
it has like a Cloudflare like authorization to get through. Not that I would know.
I was thinking this is more of a retaliatory issue with the administration. Now that's speculative, but I know that they've Spain and the U.S. have been going back and forth at it because we just had them deny the use of our airfields that NATO members typically use. They don't want to be used; those airfields to be used for strikes against Iran. So I wonder if this is some kind of retaliation, because right now, and Trump and the Spanish president, they do not like each other, which is great for either country.
Bessent was on CNBC this morning saying Spain's the only one not living up to their NATO obligation as well. But I can't get anything from that article there. Let me see if I can find another one. It's paywalled, and I don't have a Bloomberg subscription. Let's see if I can find it at a different site.
I think I would probably lean more on that being the case, but I just don't know for sure because this is a new article. Haven't read it, but I just know what I know because of what we've already discussed.
Because of what else is going on there, yeah. Actually, that might have been a Bloomberg only. I'm not finding that on any other outlet. I'll let you know if we get anything more on that, though. I could probably also ask our news desk.
Still gonna continue to maintains caution about this stock, but JZXN might be trying to set up to push higher. Just please be careful if you decide to trade this thing. It is a very low float, junky name, but it is providing an interesting setup here. So if this setup resolves the way that these bullish patterns typically do, we should see some higher prints.
Webull trading higher. They have earnings after the bell today. Actually, if this can get above 630, maybe this goes on a run into earnings, although that might not be great either.
Maybe because the last time they had earnings, they went on a 25% run for
I'm curious to see how the earnings are here for Bull. Is anyone long Bull? Does anyone have this for the long term?
I don't. I'm not sure how great earnings are going to be in this environment.
Me either. I'm just not familiar with the product either. I know we talked about a possible sympathy play to Hood, but just don't see it yet in Webull. Webull wobbles and also falls down. LOL, Joe.
That's funny. Just trying to find something that looks interesting.
OpenAI's next AI model to have, quote, extreme reasoning, end quote. That's per the information.
It's been something that a lot of firms have been working on is reasoning. Do you remember can't think of the company name, but they came up with Devon AI, which was the AI developer that could, the companies could hire and just have work overnight. That was developed using reasoning. So it's only a matter of time before that was going to end up being the next big leap for AI development.
SPY pulled off that little bounce, but it won't break back down through 680. I still think that 680 spot is one to watch here today. Webull has a nice platform, says Retro.
I know there's a lot of difference of opinion on the Webull platform, so I'm not going to take part in that because it's going to be what works best for you. And I think that there are some other platforms out there that work better for others.
This was a good mention here, Bob. Congrats too if you hit this. We talked about AIFF recapturing the VWAP. We did get our move back up towards 125. Again, 135 looks to be the next spot there. Then maybe we can really take off, to use your parlance, Bob.
I got a trend line here from the pre-market price action.
And we got the SPY trying to bounce again here, right at its 9 EMA.
Looks like this, like 245. I'm sorry, 145 to 150 looks like it's in the cards for AIFF.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's going to go a whole lot higher than that. I just have a trend line here, so I'm kind of watching to see if we end up breaking through that and holding above it. No position. Looks like BMNR is trying to recapture VWAP right now. SSRM got some good support from the 65 EMA, has not recaptured VWAP yet. And there's JZXN that came back in underneath VWAP. Might have VWAP as resistance at this stage. We'll see. If ONDS gets another contract or two, you got to think it's a major short squeeze potential. Volume is too high, though. I think maybe it just depends on what that contract is. If it's a substantial contract with, it's worth, maybe tens or hundreds of millions, possibly. I think that you're going to get some short squeezing here because it's at the highest it's ever been now. But I think it's going to have to be some pretty good knock your socks off news.
So what I'm thinking here, as far as the short squeeze that he's outlining there, which I don't disagree with here. By the way, SPY bouncing here. Boom, caught another one. Sorry, let me manage this trade here real quick. I think this keeps going. Let me actually just put a stop in here so I can go back to it. Yeah, let me just put a stop in here on these calls. Okay. All right. So real quick with Ondas, as far as the short squeeze potential, I think one thing that might really help this, or maybe really kind of start a short squeeze, is going to be an earnings print where you start to see all of these contracts actually bleed down to the bottom line. I think any shorts that are still in at that point might need to reconsider. We've seen on some of these contract PRs that what happens is it just pulls back. It almost feels like it's getting shorted right after that as it spikes back up. I would think that earnings would probably be the tougher driver for it. That would be what my gut says. Damn, I got shaken from that position. I should have just kept focusing on it. We continue to move higher here.
Jay, yeah, it is a pretty large float ONDS because they've been raising capital and diluted and that caused dilution. So it's now 447.6 million in the float. Outstanding, basically, it's 450.
That's 4.5 billion market cap too with that. So like I said, I would think that it would need something a little bit more than just a PR. But we'll see. That SPY bounce continuing here. Let's see if 684 gets tested.
Nokia got a defense contract as part of the Golden Dome. I know that Nokia was going to be heavily involved in communications network for the European Union. Didn't hear about the Golden Dome contract. I must have missed that one. Oh, okay. No, this is news from this morning. Nokia Federal Solutions awarded U.S. Missile Defense Agency's SHIELD contract with 151 billion ceiling value.
Boom, SPY. Sorry, 13.
Nice job.
Sorry, 13.
It's okay. ONDS is supposed to report next sometime in mid-March. Well, let's take a look and see.
Yeah, I can get you the exact date on that. AIFF, right to that 135 spot that we just talked about. Whoever's trading AIFF, Bob, are you still in that? great call on that one. AIFF, new highs there, 139. It's pulling off that new high, but it went right to that pre-market area that we were talking about. Let me pull that earnings date here for Ondas.
It's unconfirmed for the 16th. So see if that ends up happening, which is, fantastic, because that's the day that everybody comes back from spring break, or at least all the schools do.
Lion here, we need to think about attention for defense stocks. So one thing, I'm already doing that. Like I said, I'm actually long that. Still, I did take gains at 100% on DFEN because they were short dated calls, but the ITA ones here that go into April, still holding those. Those are the 265s, by the way. I like these. The one thing that I will mention, though, Lion, is that this is not like a new thing, right? Like these have already been moving. So what you're talking about there about the depleted weapons, that's something that's already been kind of addressed, or at least starting to address. So I'm with you, though. I think that these are still good plays. This and oil. Right. By the way, S&P looks to break to new highs right here, trying to.
Right, Joe. Yeah, and it might be the 18th. That's why we've got unconfirmed for the 16th. Yeah. So we don't have it, but hey, they'll announce it soon.
Our team might be able to confirm it too.
All right. So, and you were just talking about AIFF. I don't know if you drew the trend line here, but we're gonna approach it soon. Well, we were until we started getting this seller locking the price down. But I just about 145, 150.
Yeah, I did not talk about the trend line here. Let me re-add it to this chart here, 13. This does give us another target here, but we did take out that pre-market high, or that pre-market target, I guess you could say. So this was a nice recapture of the VWAP, moved right up to 120, 125, and then right to 135.
I don't know what is going on with CanF, but that is still halted from the same halt, the second one, I think.
Did we get any more news about that?
See, I was looking at it and I hadn't seen any. I hadn't seen any yet. It just says that they were halted on a circuit breaker. And that's it. So not sure what's going on here with this.
Yeah, and they have the piece of news there. With this, let me ask you, with this being up 100% and it halted, do you think that maybe they're preparing an offering?
It's possible. This was
that's just speculation. That is just speculation.
Well, this is one of the ones that needs cash. They and they did a reverse split in December. So, they're going through, and I'm not sure that they needed to achieve recompliance or not, but they're going through the motions. Nope. Here we go. March 3rd, special meeting to address NYSE Audit Committee non-compliance. That's probably one of the reasons. Well, maybe that's one of the reasons why you're seeing some of the movement today, in addition to the drug or the clinical trial. But I would be very careful with this. There could be some, I mentioned that they could raise capital because they need it. Yeah, they might need it. So we'll see what ends up happening out of this unhalt here. But we were pointing out that the company does have a low cash position and they would need to raise more capital. Anyway, VCIG, this thing, this is a bit of a halt fest to the downside. Hasn't found a bottom yet, even though it started to go sideways above 1450. We've lost that level since.
NVIDIA, there's been a lot of call buying here this morning, although I haven't seen anyone that's like abnormally large or anything. Have seen some repeat call buys here on NVIDIA. This actually looks like it might challenge that pre-market high. SPY continuing to trade higher here. It looks like the 684 test that we were looking at is coming. Wish I was still in those calls. Damn, I ran from that a little too early. Threw a stop up there in profit, ran from it a little too early, unfortunately. Well, big candle here on the ES chart too. Nice looking upside candle.
Do you remember what the lesson was after we're done? Remember what the lesson when he said you're gonna review your trades and you're gonna figure out what you did right and what you did wrong. That's what the lesson was for zero DTE. That
you're for the zero DTE. Well, okay. Well, I can already tell you what the answer is. The answer for that is that I was like, I'm going to be looking away from this. I'm not going to be able to monitor the price action. And remember, that price action is based off either a 30-second or a 1-minute chart. So each individual tick is going to be important. I said, I'm going to put my stop here in profit in case it comes back in so I can talk about Ondas. And that's when I got stopped out. But again, not going to complain about being stopped out for gains.
DLXY getting a rise here all the way back up to the 200 EMA. No, I think you're killing it on the trade. So, but you know, it's just something that was part of the lesson. So just reminding you.
Yeah, no, and you're 100% right about that. You're 100% right about that. And actually, I think what I might be doing here is I might digitize and like input some of these trades into a journal and then use an AI tool to see what kind of insights I can gain from that.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's probably the next thing here. 684 on the SPY though. Look for that one. Breath is green across the board here today. SPY momentum, at least on the 1-minute time frame, a bit choppy right now.
Yeah, lots of things just kind of not doing a whole lot. BW's recovering. That's really the only ones that look okay at the moment. DLXY and BW. JZXN may have found some support, but I'm, you know my thoughts on this would be very careful. Low float, junky name, be careful with it. Beat continues to try to recapture VWAP, not able to yet.
Beat, BEAT. We looked at that one this morning too. Sorry.
Yep, I'm just cycling through all the names that we've been talking about and trading. Looks like AIFF trying to get some support from some of the levels it was trying to break through earlier. 9 EMA is up next, followed by the 15 EMA on the 5-minute. That's really the only things that are moving right now. Not seeing a whole lot else. What is? Oh yeah, I think I saw that too, Bob. That there was a big buyer of Nvidia shares. Tesla's roaring.
Was it an insider or was it just?
I don't know if it was.
Let me check the insider tab.
I just saw the headline. To defy AI bubble fears. That's also a headline here on Tesla's chart. Tesla robots could be the first atom-shaping AGI.
This is this story that you're reading here is one that affects multiple stocks. It looks like all of the tech and AI names, all the chip names.
Elon Musk Tesla loses Toyota and Stellantis from European Union carbon credits pool. So not able to sell it to them, I assume.
684 test coming here for SPY. Not in a position though, unfortunately. Bummer. I was trading the 684 zero DTE call too. I chose the right one too. And I timed it right. Just ran from it a little bit. The 1 minute trend for SPY has now flipped to bullish. 83% confidence. This is marching higher through 684 test coming right here.
Yeah, and Joe, that 684 level pretty important. We needed to hold above that yesterday. I think we closed above it and then we lost it in the after hours. So trying to recapture it again today. I think you're right. We do have to get and hold above that. It's a very important level. But I also think that the 680 and 676 are maybe even more important. We haven't lost those since the year started, despite trading underneath them. It's just the dip buyers have stepped in and lifted back up.
684 captured there by the SPY. That continues to push higher.
Coin ripping. I would imagine that a lot of the crypto names are doing pretty well with Bitcoin getting a lift this morning. Coin is doing pretty well. How much did this go all the way down to our? Oh no, this is not the one. I think that's MSTR. So this back tested a trend line, which it should have been rejected today, but I think because of the boost Bitcoin's getting, it's broken past that. Now it's getting resistance from the 50-day SMA, which since we lost it back in October, have not been able to recapture. So this will be an interesting case here for coin if we can get a close above that 50-day SMA today.
Okay.
We are having a relief rally. I say sell the pop. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. I think this is a bit of a relief rally, but and as the conflict in Iran goes on longer, it's probably going to put more pressure on the market. So I think that's not a bad idea to sell these pops.
You know, I know this is not a popular opinion here, but over this week, really, markets trading like this is not going to be a long conflict. Now, maybe that's wrong, but the market so far not telling you that.
Right. That's what it
Just
looks like
saying.
so far.
Just saying. 684.50 now. What a move up to that 684 level and a nice break through it too. Man, oh man. Pretty Panda. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going all in on VSIG. Oh, Panda.
Now, for what, a trade, or is this something longer term?
I think he's joking.
I mean, you tell me what your plan is here, buddy.
Jay, I miss Art Cashin, man. Cashing in with Art Cashin. That was my favorite segment of the day when I first started. Getting those mock numbers at the end of the day and trying to scalp this. Oh man, those were the good old days. The ice cubes don't stand a chance, Jay. Oh man, what a move here in SPY. What a move here in SPY. Definitely ran from that a little bit too early. But you know what, 13, one of the other lessons that we had from that trading guide is that you will progressively increase your size as this happens. So I think now that we're several trades in the green in a row here, probably bump this up a little bit tomorrow.
Yeah, Pretty Panda. This is not a great open here, but we still have a whole day, and we could see some stuff turn around here. But I wanted to address this. Where'd it go? Where do you see Tesla going over the next 12 months? Well, if there is going to be a SpaceX IPO, it could be higher. I think that's where
we are getting that, right?
Haven't heard anything to the contrary. But I could see this going higher over the next 12 months if we do get that SpaceX IPO this year, which is currently the expectation.
Jay, I'll take I want to take the bet on your side as well. Oil under 150. We'll see 60 before we see 150. I'm with you on that one. Mid-March, Lion, that's only, 2 weeks away or so? That tracks. That sounds about right. SPY continuing to push higher now, 685. 685 and a quarter.
DLXY looks like it's finished with its selling for the time being, because it turned around at 110 and has been trying to get back above the 200 EMA. So we'll see what ends up happening here with DLXY. The shorts are rushing to the exit. Fantastic. And that could be good for ONDS, which has significant short interest.
Which instrument are you referring to, Bri? Judge, take care of yourself. Have a great day, man. Yep. Appreciate all of your support all the time.
Take care, Judge. Good to have you. VSIG. It's down hanging out at the 200 EMA. CanF still suspended. I get the sense that there's going to be some not great news coming with CanF.
Yeah, it feels like that. This feels not great.
Yeah.
I like how you put that. It feels not great.
And this was one that we talked about how they needed cash. So I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up shaping up to be some kind of capital raise.
Kathy, looking for thoughts on FTI as a long-term play. Technip, FMC. Yeah, I got that right, Kath. Right? I mean, this has been. Look at this chart.
Yeah. Well, let's see. They must be in some kind of industry that's related to data centers.
Offshore oil field services, integrated deepwater offshore oil and gas development solutions that span the full spectrum of what is that? Subsea equipment and subsea construction services.
So not data centers, but the energy that
supplies them, no doubt. 685 resistance spot here on SPY as we're trading sideways. Man, that futures candle, that looks really bullish. Momentum trend, 100% confidence.
Let's see what else here. Float's a little large. Companies got great revenue, great balance sheet.
Lion, you need CanF to be unhalted before you talk about it selling off or moving here. We need that to get unhalted. Then let me know if you're going to buy some of it. The defense names also pretty good here. Defense ETF went red to green.
How about
AI trading up a little bit? I'll take that.
How about
Amazon? Sorry, really quick. Izzy, good stuff on Amazon. Look, I know we haven't covered that a whole lot. It didn't really give us a dip out of the open. It basically just moved straight up here. Let me know what kind of targets you have on Amazon. Really good stuff there, Izzy.
Joe wanted to know about air freight plays. First one that comes to mind immediately is FedEx. I'm not sure. I want to say that they.
I'm waiting on the FedEx guy here today.
Yeah, I could have sworn that they sold some of their business. I don't remember if it was air freight or not, but there's something about their shipping side that they sold off. I don't remember if that was it or not. But that was the first one that came to mind. I'm not sure about others.
AIFF tagged its VWAP and looks like it's going to try and go higher here.
All right.
VIX continues to melt as we're sub 22.
As far as FTI goes, I don't know enough about this company, but I'm not sure that I'd be a buyer right now with how much it's run up in a short period of time. I mean, just look at the monthly chart; it's been parabolic. We are about to get a golden cross on the monthly chart, but I don't know that I'd still even be a buyer with this having an 88 RSI. I'd like for this to come back in, and then if it does, let's ask that question again, and we can make a determination then. Maybe it does great, over the long term. Right now, I'm not sure I'd be a buyer with how extended it is.
Thinking about it, wonders if he should continue to mention AEHR. This is what I'll say thinking about it. Really good stuff on this trade, buddy.
I remember when we were talking about this one during the massive drop. Remember that? Because this drop came when there was like this realization that there would be fewer things to test because there was a chip shortage. Remember? And it resulted in going from like in the 50s all the way down to under $10. What a massive buy that was! And now here we are with this breakout over a trend line that we've been forming for what is this? The past 3 years. So maybe this comes back up to 50 pretty soon.
SPY more highs now, 686, and we keep going. Where are the panicans at? Lion here said Ryan hates me. Ryan, dude, I don't hate anybody. Lion, I don't hate anybody. I just had to ignore a lot of the nonsense here today. I'm sure you'll understand.
ONDS. Recapture 200 EMA and VWAP.
How about that?
Look at the rounding, bottom here we got here in the session.
Jay made a point earlier that it's such an active stock on Twitter. Jay, and you had said that you wish people would stop talking about it. I think you might get less of these like really dramatic moves if it wasn't as popular of a FinTwit stock as it is. I don't know if that's going to dissipate though, buddy.
ONDS, good trading price action here.
You're good, Daniel.
Coming up to some of the resistance from the pre-market, though.
So the chat, I love how spicy the chat is here today. We didn't get a whole lot of support from folks here today. I'm not sure what we did wrong. It looks like folks were a little bit angry here this morning, but
why?
You guys are, I don't know. Guys, Daniel, a little bit spicy. Lion always spicy. We count on the lion spice every single day. 13, you have any closing words or you want to wrap up before we turn it over to the story trading boys?
Well, a little bit more of a muted day today, but still had some pretty good trades. I'm going to probably close this DLXY one out because that looks like it could be getting pretty close to being finished here. I'm not sure if we're going to get past the seller at 152, but we had some pretty good trades. We saw a lot of selling, got some dip spot, traded those. Not a bad morning, but Would have liked to see some more volume, and got to figure out what's going on with that CAN-F. I'm a little bit concerned about that one. But hey, you know what?
Are you
folks?
in that? Did you take that one at all?
I traded that one, but I got
Okay.
out while it was going through that halt. It's because you have a moment to market order your way out of that before it.
Latin now, been there,
Yeah.
been there myself.
So traded that one, got a little bit, haven't touched it since because no action. But running into some problems with DLXY now. But anyway, folks, don't lose your hat today. Let's come back tomorrow. Make sure we've got our capital ready to go because there's going to be some more volatility to trade. So until then, folks, have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy the next show, and I'll see you then. Take care. Goodbye.
All right, 13, thank you for everything. We will see you on a happy hour, and we'll see you again here tomorrow. 13's departure leaves room for the story trading folk. Let's bring on Ben. Oops, 13 left, and I brought Ben's screen on before him. Ben, no shade there. I'm sorry about that. I meant to bring you on.
I gotta fix my camera. It's showing the top of my monitors.
They look like nice monitors, though, dude. Let me bring on laptop travel as well. Are we expecting Rhett today?
I think so.
Okay. How you boys doing? I love the time out. You don't just show up to a stream with a blue bow tie and not have a comment about that. I'm sorry. That is an amazing bow tie.
Hey, thank you.
Is it a clip on or did you tie it? And be honest.
I tied it.
Okay.
So the screen is very positive. It's green, and so we're positive. The blue is
I think we had a network connection there. I was about to be extremely impressed that he is color coding his outfits with what the market is doing. That is a new level of dedication. I'll be honest.
That he is. He does try to do that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I think we got him back here. What do you guys got going on here today?
Good. I mean, we basically called this in my early morning note this morning. I upgraded from red alert to green alert. Red alert to green signal. We played the downside perfectly. I was a year-to-date high yesterday because I was all hedged up Friday into Monday. I did think Iran was going to attack. They did, so we completely nailed that. And then we've been mostly constructive and long. So, but this morning, I really hit the accelerator to the long side with my macro thoughts. So I'll share those in just a second.
Yeah, great job, Ben. You might have some resistance here today from the chat on the market going up. There seems to be some negativity out there, but really good stuff, really good trading. Have a good one, man.
All right, awesome. So, okay, Rhett's coming in a bit. He just has some technical issues, but look, I guess the resistance, I don't know, maybe some people are worried about the war, so maybe I'll touch on that a little bit, but more importantly, the reason I flipped to green signal this morning was there were 3 indicators overnight. First of all, let me start with this. I thought we were heading towards the 200 DMA as of yesterday into the overnight, right, on QQQ 587. But I changed my mind when I saw 3 signals overnight, and then Pete Hegseth conference sealed it this morning. But the 3 signals I saw overnight, first was Bitcoin breaking out of this consolidation. If you look on the daily chart, you can see right here. So it was about 72,000. So this, and it did it out of nowhere. Okay. So when you say Bitcoin, meaning no catalyst, this is just money flow, breaking out of this consolidation. And that's usually a risk on signal. At the same time, we saw IGV, which is now a risk asset or risk class because of the volatility and the big drawdown. There's a software ETF. All right. We saw this break above the 20 DMA yesterday. And then this morning, when the Qs were still struggling a little bit, it was outpacing the market, meaning it was moving with risk assets, moving with Bitcoin. So then we had 2 risk signals on early this morning at 6 o'clock this morning when I was writing the morning note. And then the third thing I saw was South Korea. Big drawdown in South Korea. It was down like minus 10%, but by the time I woke up, minus 8%, something like that. By the time I woke up and I was finalizing my morning note at 6 a.m., it was only down minus 2%. And this one, when it was down minus 10%, it was really bleeding over into the NASDAQ and Micron and SanDisk. But when I saw that capitulate, what I thought was, hey, this could be a capitulation low over here overnight in South Korea. So I saw those 3 signals and I upgraded from a red signal to a green signal for risk assets and a yellow signal for larger caps. So I was already bullish coming into the day. I wish I played it confidently. I didn't, because again, that was early morning data. I was swinging SQQQ overnight because of what I mentioned before. So I had to reverse that and really go long today. But then the thing that really sealed it was Pete Hegseth coming on at the conference this morning, which we played live on a pre-market show, really giving that signal out there, the confidence out there that despite what you're seeing in the media, America's winning this war. And he put some compelling statistics out there and told a good story in terms of why we're really crushing it. I put it all together, and now things are turning around. And on that last point, that touches on the war aspect. You're seeing some resistance you were talking about from your watchers and people who are worried or whatever. I've been talking about a very long time, since this all started with the protests in Iran, that United States has a strategic interest in a regime change in Iran. And no matter what you're hearing about nuclear missiles, it's all BS. It's all about regime change. So Donald Trump, United States has a lot to benefit from regime change in Iran when it comes to oil and China and Russia, and it comes to another trade partner in Iran. And if the regime does change, so there's, and I think those are the primary reasons. By the way, I think Trump is completely economically driven in terms of America first, and I think those are his main reasons. He did also kind of put himself in a corner when those protesters came out and his we have your back, and they believed them. They came out on the street. He still has blood on his hand for that, by the way. He shouldn't have said that when he wasn't ready to fire. So those people came out in the streets, 20, 30, 40,000 of them died. So that was another kind of moral reason I think he felt that he had to go in. And by the way, you didn't even hear me say Israel here. Has nothing to do with Israel. Happens to be Israel and the United States have aligned interests, and that's why they're working together. But Trump, United States would not be doing this if this was not economically beneficial to Donald Trump's "Make America Great and America First" thinking. And that's what's going on. And that's why this is a really bullish war, okay? In terms of if there is regime change, it's extremely bullish for the United States economy. So we've been talking about that, preparing our readers from a geopolitical analysis perspective to buy the war when it starts, to be cautious ahead of time because we knew there'd be an initial dip. And we were cautious for 5-6 weeks. It played right into our hands. We cashed in on our hedges big time Monday morning, and we've been constructive ever since. So that's the macro perspective. Welcome, Rhett.
How's it going, guys?
Good.
Hey.
I don't know if you caught all that, but my thesis anyway.
Yep.
Laptop. Any criticism, feedback on my thesis there? What are your thoughts on the macro?
So first, Ben, for our viewers, pull up KORU for me.
KORU?
KORU. This is my macro barometer.
Oh, this is Korea.
This is Korea.
Oh, okay, that's
And
the
if
same.
you look at the huge drop, a 50% drop.
Yeah. Wow.
Now I've been here before.
Wow, that really is. Wow. Oh,
I was here
lower,
before.
okay.
I was sitting on the floor of a library in October 1987, going to the library to get their bearings before, because they got theirs on Saturday and mine wouldn't come until Monday when the market crashed. And what you do is you study, and I spent the weekend study what are the stocks that I like that have taken a huge hit, and what do I want to buy, because these opportunities come on very rarely. When I saw this for Korea, and I know that South Korea is going to come out of it, huge ally for the United States. Yes, they're oil dependent. It's a choke point for tech, and especially AI. But 50%. So I went in, and I went in this overnight, and I think my cost was
Nice.
really low. So that's my barometer. Now, if you can go to like a 5-minute chart, you can see the reversal.
A 5-minute chart.
So you can see the reversal.
Wow.
Overnight. So yeah, exactly what Ben said. This is strategical. And that's the reason that my background's green today. That's where I'm green shirt. My blue tie, folks, is for Story Trading Discord. You really should be in with us because, we give 110%. I swear I'm down to like 3 hours and 41 minutes a day is what my watch says. But we're
Ooh.
always working and studying for you. But beyond that, I mean, we have picked winners, and we see this, and we don't just say this is the way it is. There's a lot of dialogue going on with analysts and with people that have a lot of experience. But what's happened is Trump is very strategic, and so when the market's down, he is
100%.
an economic demon. He will do what it takes. The administration's already proven they will do whatever it takes at every stroke of any misfortune, even you know, Fed fund rates, uh,
Yeah. I mean,
terrorism, fraud, and
as bad as it sounds, Donald Trump just sees dollar signs when he looks at the Middle East. In my opinion, that's
yeah,
all about
but
that.
totally, I agree. And it's a big boost. Potentially 100 million consumers that want Western products down the road too.
100%.
That's the after effect.
Yep.
But
Yes,
definitely, this
current
is
new high.
and this is a very sophisticated game of chess too, because what has happened is we're almost making we're almost going to get to the point where we can just pretty much tell Russia what to do with when it comes to Ukraine. But more importantly, is this is strategic against China. Venezuela had
100%. That's the
309
top.
billion.
That's the number one motivation. I wrote about it, I believe, Monday morning when I was reminding people why we're going to buy the dip. The number one motivation for Trump, I believe, is China. It's all about
Yeah.
that.
So Venezuela, 309 billion barrels of potential oil, and Iran close to that number, 290 or something. So we've and their biggest customers were China. So we're choking them off economically.
Yep.
So this is you see missiles and drones and things, but this is really economic warfare.
Yep.
You know.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And a big
So
tell to that was going in Venezuela first.
yep.
It tells a story of why he's then going into Iran. It's all connected.
And then you see the reaction. Countries that sat back and just go, okay. So that gives you the green light right there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and so we've been very attuned to drones, and that drone sector has been very good, very strong for us. Uh, software hasn't worked out as well for most investors and traders, but that's going to come around, I think. And then right
Or
now,
miss.
energy.
Yeah.
This is all about energy, and one way or another, I've been pounding the table for ever since the day one I came on with Story Trading. I've been talking about nuclear. I've been talking about quantum computing. I've been talking about um, uh, rare earth minerals, right? And these energy companies and big oil. It's all about energy. We have to have energy to drive our economy.
Yeah.
And this-
I have to. There's so much to talk about, but I have to get a little personal here. I got to push back on something because this is very meaningful to me here. Someone saying, I disagree with the blood on his hands statement. I know there's a stock show, but those protest killings came too close to anything Trump said. Look, first of all, I'm from Iran. I was born in Tehran. Okay. And I know what's going on there. I'm in a lot of Iranian spaces. I have some family there. My whole community is from there. Okay. And I can tell you there was a very, very direct happening of people going into the streets. I mean, the statements are out there when Trump is like, go now, go into the streets. We have your back. And, write down the name of all the oppressors. Like, we're going to get them. Like, he made it sound like they're going to be immediately supported with firepower. And they went out after that. And, 100% was related. So, okay, I just have to put the facts out there because that was a big moral error on Trump's part that caused a lot of people to die, which I'm pretty pissed off about. But I guess no one's perfect, and mistakes happen when you're the leader of the world. You make a mistake, people die. So no one's perfect. But that sucked. That really sucked. All right, I'm sorry for that. Let's get into some of our top picks here. ASTS over here was our top pick of the day with a $100 target. I subsequently updated the target to 105 for today on the back of tons of news yesterday. And honestly, Rhett, I'm looking at this chart right now. We've seen crazy moves before after significant news on ASTS, and who knows? Like this thing might get. Are you still in 115 call options? Right? This thing might get to 115 by Friday. It's really crazy.
I actually, as we spoke, I actually just sold the majority of those. I have a few
nice.
left, but they're earlier strikes. So,
What
Right.
kind of percentage gains did you see on those?
I got over 40. Some of those were 50%.
Wow.
55%. Hold on, let me see. I took a screenshot.
Yeah.
55.71 I saw
Nice.
on some, and the others I could have got over 100% on ones, but I sold them way too early.
So 2 days in a row we've killed it on ASCS. It was our #1 pick yesterday. Hit our target at the 50 DMA. #1 pick today. I'm being less aggressive with it today. I wish I was, just as aggressive as yesterday, but whatever. We're making money on it. Air, I heard you guys talking about it. This is my baby. I own it in big size in my long-term account. My short-term account, I've been less than ideal here. I missed some opportunities. It was our number 2 or 3 pick of the day. I've been looking for 50 plus in the very near term, and I'm just I just can't believe the price action though. Like when I saw it dip to 40, I bought some pre-market. I saw it dip into the 40s, and I didn't have the kahunas to average down. Like it's just every time I see it, I'm amazed every day. Like 40 to 46, like it does this every single day lately, and it's just unbelievable ranges. And the buy the dip is crazy. It's heading to 50 plus. I don't know exactly when, but the strength is just unbelievable with this over here. ONDS has been a little bit difficult this morning. They had some really good news this morning. I ended up making money on it, but not a lot. I bought in big size early at 1027. I sold half at 1075, but then I got mixed up in all of this drop here, and I only made a little bit of money. I decided to redeploy that capital in RCAT because RCAT's CEO is speaking on some show. Where was it? Where's he speaking? At 11:30?
Schwab
It's-
Forum.
Is it on TV or is it an online? I think
It's on TV. It's on Schwab, I believe.
Schwab. I don't know where that is, but anyway, the whole drone sector I like, and I really liked ONDS this morning, and I wish I didn't get shaken out here because it's really underperformed all the drone stocks this week in a big way, real underperformance, and they had a $20 million contract this morning for border security, so I was really surprised to see this go red, and as part of risk management, I had to get out or reduce, but. Thankfully, because I did sell half up there at 1075, I still got out with a profit. But obviously, I wish I kind of stuck with it more. So lots of catalysts, strong top picks for us today in ASCS, AIR, and ONDS. And let's see if RCAT can get towards green today. I think it's a possibility.
AIR, we gave a target today of 47 was our first target. So we almost came 71 cents away from hitting our first target.
And it's
today.
only...
That'd be amazing to see.
And it's only 10:47 a.m. So,
yeah.
Hello. Let's see what else we got going on here. We have a bunch of earnings reports, which I'm very excited about tonight. They are, where are they? AMPX. Where are the rest of them? Oh, here. Okay. AMPX, Bull, and Arlo. Okay. AMPX, Bull, and Arlo, and I will be making some ER bets into the close on all three. Not going to get into the theses of all of these right now, but they're reporting tonight. SHMD, which I don't know well, but I know a lot of people in our community know well, had a catalyst this morning. I've been watching it all day. I had a small scalp from 750 to 8, and man, I wish I had a bigger size. EOC running, making back some losses after the CEO insider buy, or an insider buy. I don't know if it was a CEO yesterday. But what a miss on Quick. I've been coming on this show week after week after week telling you Quick is heading towards 10. And then I freaking dropped the ball. I've been holding it this whole time. They had earnings last night. I read the press release. I was just on. I couldn't attend the whole conference call. Maybe I shouldn't have acted without really having time to review the whole conference call. But I decided to get out last night because, I don't know, gross margins. I guess that was stupid of me. I mean, they beat on revenue. Their guide beat on revenue, but not a huge beat, just a modest beat. So I see a modest beat on revenue, and then gross margins, which was really kind of a mixed picture and not clear when they'd get to sustained profitability. So I thought the stock wasn't going to do much of anything today, but it looks like the market's really focused on the modest revenue beat for the year. It seems to be enough for the market to bid this up. And I can't believe I held this for months, even quarters, probably on and off. And then I sold it this morning and then it just explodes. So hopefully some of you guys on the Benzinga show had this from my recommendations and my price target of 10 and are enjoying the fruits of that today. But unfortunately, I misplayed that today. Here's another little drone stock that looks ready to break out and maybe join some of their peers here. MOB, you got 616 resistance. It's right on it. I'm in it, and target of 670. So I'm looking forward to a pop towards 670 to ring the register a little bit on MOB. And I'll pause there. Laptop, any thoughts on those names or any additional ones you want to add here?
Yeah, well, I want to talk about drones and Red Cat.
Yeah.
We had an interview, I think, gosh, it was like a 5-minute interview, was it? On
Yesterday.
Monday?
Was it yesterday?
Was it yesterday? Oh my gosh, time goes
Monday.
by
No, it
so
was Monday
fast.
morning.
Oh,
Monday.
yeah,
Thank you.
Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
All right.
Monday.
Yeah.
So I had a 5-minute interview, and is it Jeff?
Jeff
Is it
Thompson.
Jeff Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he came out and he said, that RCAT is not, profitable right now, but look for huge revenue where they're focusing on this
Yeah.
year and
Yeah.
profitability in 2027.
Right.
And the Black Widow is going to turn profitable first. And if you look at the dip today, without any news, and actually they have good news, Ben and I both jumped in at the bottom of that and turned that around. So I mean, we're really watching drones, and you can see drones are going to be,
Big theme with this war. I mean,
yeah.
The place where Iran unfortunately is having some success, and you hate to use the word success, but from their perspective, it is, the drones are getting through. Not all of them, obviously, but like a lot of these, especially the ones hitting the Arab countries and the embassies and the consul, all these different places and a lot of different Arab countries are getting hit. The damage is happening with the drones. They're getting through somehow. They're proving harder to stop than the missiles.
So they're using swarm technology or swarm patterns. I'm not going to say technology, swarm patterns. They're sending out hundreds and hundreds of drones in a single attack formation, and then they're being picked up by radar and anti-aircraft and anti-drone defense weapons. And what's happening is these are all fake. They don't care if they're decoys. And then once the defensive munitions have been used up, then the ballistic missiles come in behind. That's how they've been so successful on these missiles. So one of the things we're hearing now is that the United States is using so much of its missile and arsenal, the munitions, that we need to replenish that. And I believe the president's going to be talking to these big heads of defense.
Yeah, I'm keeping some RTX because of that.
But you're going to see in the next wave of administration and the Department of Defense budgeting, you're going to see even bigger push, I guarantee you, for drones, because we're going to do the same thing. We're not going to be spending $10 million or $4 million per ballistic missile. We're going to send up thousands of drones that cost a fraction of that, so that more of our missiles, hit directly.
Yeah.
So,
and there's a comment here which I very much agree with, that Jeff Thompson's a bit of a pumper, RCAT, and we agree with that. And by the way, we were so early in RCAT back a couple years ago, thanks to the Godfather. I mean, it was like low single digits, and we wrote it for like huge wins. But then when we realized he was pumping and they were really missing behind on promised timelines in a big way, so then I avoided it for a long time. But I got back into RCAT because at the end of the day, no matter how much your presentation might suck or if you're a pumper or whatever it is, at the end of the day, it's numbers that talk. And they had pre-announced their revenue number, or was it a pre-announcement or was it the actual quarter? I think it was a pre-announcement for this quarter that's coming. It was a pre-announcement on revenue, and it was massive beat compared to analyst estimates. And at that point, it's not a pump anymore. Like he's not going to lie about pre-announced revenue unless he wants to immediately go to jail. So, I mean, it's coming. The revenue is inflecting, and he may have a little bit of a pumping personality, and that kept us away. But it was mostly the timelines that were slipping that kept us away. But now it seems like they are immediately inflecting to rapid revenue growth here in 2026. So the thing's back in play.
Yeah, and so the five drone stocks I like are in no particular order: AV, which is AeroVironment,
Had a tough week. Yeah.
KTOS, Kratos, ONDS, we love ONDS, Ondas, RCAT, I just mentioned Red Cat, and then DPRO, which is Dragonfly. Those are 5.
I would say
great
I would
drone-
throw, in my perspective, I would say AMPX has to be a top drone. It's a battery company. but
batteries.
they're batteries for drones. You
Sure.
know, so the picks and shovels play here for drones. I really like this name a lot. So they report tonight, and I have a big position. I also have some UMAC as well, which is a kind of a weird, I don't know. CEO is kind of flaky, but they got Donald Trump Jr. on the board, and they also have some revenue coming in and some big deals they won recently. And actually, they have some decent analyst coverage with higher price targets. So, the demand is so high that there's such tailwinds in the sector that even if you're a flaky CEO or a pumpy CEO, like the money's flowing to you anyway.
Yep.
It's a hot sector.
Yeah, RCAT, we got in, I think it was 274 is the initial entry that we got from the Godfather.
Yeah, we were so early. We were like when no one was talking about RCAT and UMAC. Like those were the days. I mean, we were like completely alone on the drone trade back then.
And then someone's asking about, I've never heard of this ticker, IRDM, Jay Rice. You guys follow?
Iridium, I think
Iridium?
it is. Yeah. I think it's Iridium. That's like isn't that a communication like a kind of ASTS type thing? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, weren't they the company that came out with the original satellite phone a long time ago?
Maybe I don't know.
And I just kind of
I haven't been following it. I have no thoughts.
Yeah, I haven't been following it either since.
It's a nice looking chart, but I have no idea what's been driving it, so I don't really have comments on it.
Look, in terms of satellite stuff, I just follow ASTS.
Yeah, you don't need anything more than that. So I'm in it right now. I have a 105 target today, and I don't have a sell order here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put a sell order in. But again, it might go as high as 115.
Yeah, sadly, I sold all mine.
I'm just in common. I didn't enjoy. Yesterday I did calls with you guys, but today I was just in common shares.
That's all I have left right now, Ben, is common shares. I had sold on that way down. I got a little nervous there.
Here we go. We're getting right to our target right now. 105. It's pretty. Where should I put my limit sell here? Should I just do a market order, sell half, or should I wait for closer to 105? What do you think? I always struggle with this. I never. This is an area I need to like.
Probably start ringing the
I need to come up with a better like process when it comes to ringing the register. It's just very random. Like once I get near my target, I get nervous. I'm like market order, limit order. Like I don't know what to do. And because I hate it when I put a limit order and it misses the limit order by like a few pennies. And then I'm like, and I'm kicking myself and I'm like, limit orders suck. And then I go back to like doing market orders. I'm like, so I think I'm going to do a market order right here. 105 is the target. 104.72 is the bid. I'm selling half right here. Boom. I get it. Oh, what did I get? Fill that. 105 target hit. We keep increasing the target. I got to say, 115 is in play for Friday. I sold at 105.21. Not bad.
Oh, I'm kind of regretting selling all my calls now.
Yeah, I just sold half at 105. Dude, if I kept my ASTS calls yesterday morning, I bought them here. You saw it live on the show.
I averaged down with you on the dip.
Oh, dude, you averaged down. My initial entry was on this dip right here. The thing dipped down to like 84.80. Like I literally bottom ticked like $90 call options. Or which strike was it? Do you remember? 92, 90? I don't know.
I think we were in 95s.
All right, 95
and hundreds.
Okay.
I had the 90s.
They're $10 now, over $10.
Oh, yeah.
And I probably bought them at like $2, Red, or something. Oh well, I should have kept them. I sold them literally 90 seconds later for a 60% gain.
I'm looking at it now. I had a $83 average yesterday on the $100 calls that I sold for a little over 100%. Now they're $7.85.
Here comes their target on air.
Oh wow! Everything's hitting targets.
Yeah, my target's 50 plus. I know you have a 47 laptop for today. But my target's a swing target though, not a day target of 50 plus.
Right.
But wow, getting close to your day target of 47 here.
Hey Ben, so a couple of questions. One is from chat is asking about OPTT. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we used to play this back in the day. Another drone kind of stock, marine drone or whatever. I don't know. Like I just play this on News Pops. I haven't been following the fundamentals closely, and I just feel like I've enjoyed the liquidity and also the social media sentiment tailwinds of their larger peers a lot more. So I've kind of abandoned OPTT and I haven't kept up with it. Yeah, for me, it's enough to just trade these, RCAD and ONDS and AVAV and UMAC and AMPX and MOB. And I don't know. It's maybe a little bit of a shitco. I'd have to research it to see what's going on there. I'm not really caught up on it. On OPTT. Sorry.
ST.
What's that?
OUST. It says
Oh, didn't
Ben Auster.
they just reported? And did I ever keep that in my long-term account? Let me check. I didn't play it around the earnings. It was like a modest beat from what I can remember, and it looks like no. I even sold it in my long-term account at some point over the past year. I'll be Well, see, I had to sell a lot of things like because I was going crazy in the pre-IPO market this past year, and I kept having to sell. Like I bought like every pre-IPO stock that's in the news, except I couldn't get Anthropic, unfortunately. So yeah, that was a victim of me raising cash to buy I think it was Grok, which got bought out by Nvidia. GROQ.
Did you ever get paid by that yet or no?
I'm about to get paid, man. I'm about to get paid 3 times my money. They're telling me it's imminent, like this week or next week. I'm gonna get paid 3 times my money on that. So then I'll have money coming back into the market, and I'll be able to hold on to more things. But yeah, Alice was one of the victims, and I was looking at what to sell to raise money to buy that stuff. So yeah, the earnings. I don't remember the exact details. I covered it in the morning. Though it was like I think it was like a modest beat, but it just didn't make my highlight reel compared to a lot of other stronger catalysts that were out this week.
Where are you now? Or where
oh my god, it hit 46.95. Well, my year-to-date return.
Oh, yeah.
As of this morning, it was 50.
55.7.
Here, 55 points. I'm surprised because my execution sucks. But yeah, as of this morning, 55.7. I think at this point I'm probably up for the day. I made some mistakes. I carried a lot of SQQQ overnight, which I had to sell for a loss. So that kind of hurt. But I think I might add on to that year to date today. Yeah, I'm up today. Not huge, because of that, but I am up today. So gonna add on to that. So Arlo, by the way, had a nice earnings report last week, and then last night, management came out with a $50 million repurchase share program. So getting another secondary pop in Arlo. Did I talk about Berna at all?
I don't believe so.
Look at the Qs. All right. Wow. Micron was on the top list this morning, but I didn't go for it because I was really pissed off that I couldn't buy the 50 DMA. It hit and bounced off the 50 DMA overnight. I don't have overnight trading. I just have, starting at 7 a.m. So I couldn't buy the 50 DMA dip, and I kind of protested it because of that. I'm like, so anyway, it was a top pick with a $400 target for the day, and it look at that, it flew past that 400 target. That's a shame. That would have been nice to buy the 50. Oh well, maybe some bad news will hit tonight or tomorrow, and I can get back in. RTX, by the way, it was the key to this chart breaking out over here. As everything was going down, I had a big win in RTX call options because it looked like that war was coming, and it did. And RTX call options were crazy, man. So that was just beautiful hedge that paid off, and I didn't even have to put a lot of money into it. It was like a 1% position or something. So I'm swinging common shares now in RTX. I think this keeps going. I think it has further legs because they're gonna get. I think they're meeting today, right? There was a rumor. I don't know. The defense major is meeting with Trump today to see what they can do about increasing production. So,
did you see that video of the sinking one of the ships with a torpedo?
No, I haven't yet. Look, the 50 DMA might be coming on the Qs, guys. Up 1.6%. A little squeezy. Market's getting a little squeezy in a lot of names. Oh, right. I did sell half of the ASTS. I didn't sell the air yet. Actually, I did sell Aaron, and then I bought it back. Let's see what else we got going on. Can't believe this ONDS kind of shook me out a little bit there. Damn it. Were you playing ONDS laptop today?
I was not. Remember,
Oh, you were not. Oh, right. You don't like it as much as the other two. And you were right. You were right about that. ASTS and Air much better than ONDIS. Oh, good call. Nice job. Let's see. Maybe we got to pop out of RCAT. 11:30 is when the CEO is going to be on air.
Correct, 11:30. Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna hold on to some of that RCAT. I already sold about half because we really bottom ticked this together, around 1380 or so, close to the bottom. So I did sell about half of that so far. Let me look at some of these comments. There's a ton of comments here. Oh, someone got Andy Rail here. I also have some Andy Rail. This music by Starlink. Alster. Oh, that's the Alster comment. Oh, it looks like Rhett, you're on top of all the comments.
Yeah.
You got everything. It looks like you got everything. All right.
Yeah, I'm just rewatching this video right now on the it looks like it's some people are saying it's the first submarine kill since World War II.
Oh yeah, I think I heard that.
Man, this video is crazy. I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I'm up $60 on KORU.
Nice. That was nice.
60 in the share price, I mean.
Is KORU, is that the same? How different is that to this other one, EWI? Oh, is it
it's a 3X.
Oh, it's 3X. I got it. Okay,
yeah.
Nice.
And it's been, if you look at it from April of last year, I think it was I got into it around $21.
Wow. Good job. Let me add that to my macro list.
Wow, you're crushing it on that one.
Well, I sold it around the beginning of the year for, I tried to put all my eggs in one basket, which was called January Effect basket.
That was the first 2 weeks were good, but everything just shit the bed after the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Fun, Six Flags.
Fun did.
Ended up,
yeah, that ended up being great. Did he stick with that?
I did. That was my pick.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
with that one. That's one I should have.
I got fried on Lucid. That was the one I.
Yeah.
I think we all did.
Yeah, it doesn't look big, but if you're doing with call options.
But Redwire
was the number one. Yeah, Redwire is the top. Was the top pick for the January effect, and actually, I even made out in bull with my short-term January call options. It did have a good opening 5 days or so, but shit the bed after that. Like my later July, August calls were terrible. We'll see if they can turn around.
We're gonna play that. We're gonna play that so much better.
ASTS just pointed a new high.
Right?
What's that, laptop?
I said we're gonna play it so much better in 2026. December.
What, the January effect?
Yeah.
Look, you can't do it more than 2 weeks. That we looked at the data. Rhett looked at the data of our previous January effects, and it's a real effect, and it works almost every year. But it's like a 5 to 10 session effect, and that's it. There may be some winners that last longer, like Fun, but.
But you started earlier this year, I think, right? You jumped the gun on a few.
I did. That's right. I jumped the gun on a few, but some of them worked out. It was Fly, which worked out. I think I jumped the gun on because it had news and a technical breakout, and Bull had the news, which initially worked out on the ER. Little pop in Bull right now. We'll see. We'll see what Bull gives us in after hours. Did he ever find that? Because you said you had found some negative information about the Bull, which I didn't see. About the subscription uptake or something. Do you remember that?
I don't think I ever said negative.
Oh.
No, so it was positive that they're trying to convert people into the premium membership. The only thing negative that I ever found about Bull was when that lawsuit was filed or whatever,
right?
About event betting and all that, which is a minimum thing for Bull. If they didn't have it, they could still a big thing.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm pretty bullish on bull into ER, but I wish they were. I wish I saw them more in social media. Right? I don't know what's going on. They got all that money from the D-SPAC, and I thought they were gonna do much more marketing on X, but like I don't see them because I can tell you, Hood. One of the reasons that Hood became like a very like kind of retail popular meme stock, they actually put dollars, like real dollars, behind social media marketing, and a lot of the I hate to say this, but I know this for a fact, specifically with Hood. A lot of the social media influencers who have been touting Hood are actually paid by Hood. Um, so that created, that helped in creating this buzz about that company. So I thought we would see that with Webull, and I haven't seen any evidence of that, which I'm a little bit disappointed in because
There's
it's just
I mean, Brian is right because I saw this today. He said bull fills are curse word. Won't say it. I don't know if we're allowed to curse on here, but
yeah,
I'll keep it PG. I noticed that
yeah,
today with ASTS. Like I put it in and
yeah.
I did not get it, even with trying to sell.
How
Like
how do their fills compare? I'm on Fidelity, and Fidelity, their fills are
Fidelities are the best,
absolutely extraordinary fills, like
but at the
amazing.
same time, it's like hood fills are also crappy. So
I
I don't
think,
like
yeah, I
hood.
think
And they
I heard
Well,
they.
hood.
I think
I
did I share on the Discord yesterday the notification from Webull about the legacy lagging from their third party provider? Did I share that?
What do you mean? I don't
I
remember.
don't think
No.
I saw that. No.
I got a notice from Webull, and I got one again today. We apologize, but because of network traffic or something, our third party data provider, whatever, is lagging for some reason, which affects. Because I noticed, like on ASTS, when I was no, not ASTS, whatever stock, I was trying to pick up calls with you guys this morning, would never fill, and I got a notice. So
ASTS.
there is some data provider problem issues with Webull.
Hmm. Okay. I mean, I'm using Webull now, but I don't trade on Webull. I did in the past a little bit, but like all my money's tied up somewhere else right now. But um, maybe I will in the future again. But I mean, I pay them all the subscriptions. I subscribe to everything on Webull, and I use it for everything you're seeing here, and on my phone, market data, everything, and then
Yeah.
except news. Their news feed sucks, so I use Benzinga Pro for that. Which, by the way, it's code story trading 55, or is it story 55? I don't know. One of them. Try both codes.
Yeah.
1 year plan on Benzinga Pro. So I use them for the news, but what's going on right now on the Jones stocks, or is that the market? Where's the keys?
No, because this MOBX also started crawling up here.
Curling up? No, ONDS and RCAT just had some big red candles. I guess it's
Wow.
just random volatility. Yeah. So look, I from a UI perspective, and features and stuff like that, like nothing beats Bull, and I'm happy to pay for all their subscriptions and for their data. I haven't really had an issue with their data feeds at all, personally. I can't speak to the fills and stuff.
It's the only thing negative about it.
Yeah.
I like it. I switched. I switched from day trading on Robinhood. I also had Schwab. When Schwab was good, I was on Schwab, but then I went to Hood, and now I'm on Webull.
Yeah, we are having a little bit of a drawdown now. That's more visible on the Qs. What am I doing here with ACS? I sold half at a little above 105 at the now second revised target. But again, I'm looking at, am I getting too greedy, like looking for more? Should I just ring the register? Look, the RSI is not overbought yet.
It's not. I mean, the daily looks like it still has room to run.
Should I ring the register?
All out. I sold a little too early, I guess, but I'm just gonna reap the rewards of my retirement account. So.
That's true. We have that there. All right, I'm gonna ring the register here. I'm ringing the register on ASTS and see maybe there'll be an opportunity to get back in. It's just kind of driven by these drops I'm seeing right now in the Qs and ONDS and RCAT. I'm up big on it, so why not? Ring the register.
It's dipping right now, just 17 minutes before Jeff goes online.
Oh, are you suggesting you might want to buy more before he goes on? Where can we watch that show? What you know what channel that's on, right?
It's on Schwab. I'm gonna look it up. It's Schwab.
Yeah, let's
I don't
try to
know if
find
you
out
have
where
to
that is.
pay. It's the Schwab Network.
What the hell is
Trading. It's Trading 360 with Marley Caden.
I
I
don't know
don't
where that
know.
is. Try to
That's
find. Yes, let's try to find out where that's at, and maybe we could watch that together.
So it's
YouTube.
it's available on the App Store, and it's available on SchwabNetwork.com.
You have to pay for it.
It says free.
All right, let's. If whoever gets a link for that, let us put it there in the Discord. We'll watch at 11:30. Look at CRDO up 9% after a bad reaction to a great earnings report. Look at that. This fakes me out sometimes. That's a hard one to deal with. You know, I'm a big believer in market efficiency, and it usually works for me.
This was a level I was wishing we were going to stay over 609.50 for the Qs.
Yeah.
We're breaking back below it here. So if we do head back down, 607 is going to be your next target for the downside here. But I would like to see us get back above and hold, but it's not going to look like that.
Yeah, look at CRDO. So yeah, I was saying I'm a big believer in market efficiency, and sometimes you get reactions like this where day one it's just sell the news basically, and that's really I think what it comes down to. There are people pre-positioned and they're like, I'm going to sell no matter what on the catalyst day because you got big liquidity, and that's just my trade plan to buy the rumor, sell the news. I think that's probably what happened. That's frustrating when that happens, when you sell on good news and then you explode the next day or two. That's the only thing I have to deal with a little bit better, because I get really frustrated if I don't get the price action I expect on day one of a catalyst. I often throw in the towel, and then it'll just like explode on day two, which really pisses me off.
Okay, I included the link for the network in the private Discord channel.
All right, thanks.
Oh, okay, cool. Guess we'll watch that after Benzinga. Oh shit, I'm down on Arlo. I bought that this morning. Ouch. I gotta...
Moo Alpha Trader likes. I had an issue withdrawing money from them. So
Moo. I've never heard of Moo until right this second.
What? Yeah, Moo's
never heard of Moo.
I tried it out. I put $1,000 in there, traded. It's not bad. I mean, it's all right. But at the same time, I tried withdrawing money, and it took almost 3 weeks to get the money. I don't know what happened. So I'm not sure if you guys have experienced issues like that, but never had to wait that long on money to get transferred out.
Wow, big week on ASTS for me.
So
nice
gains.
Back up. Yeah, I know. I'm looking at it. I have a little bit of FOMO. I'm all out right now.
What's the date for the next launch?
It's in March. I don't know what date.
Hold on, I just had it here.
St. Patrick's Day.
Really? Better platform than Webull? I don't think there's any platform out there better than Webull. Well, I guess I haven't seen Moo, but in terms of especially watch lists, I mean, they do such a great job with watch lists and charts, and the compatibility between desktop and mobile. I mean, it blows away every app I looked at. But I did not look at Moo though.
No launch date yet for March. I was gonna.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't talk about Berna. If you'd like, you can make an ER bet here. It may work, it may not. All right, but I love the risk reward, but it might fail. We got into 1250 call options. I alerted to my community. A bunch of people followed me into it. Most of this open interest is us buying it yesterday, 330 open interest. I'm expecting Berna to pre-announce revenue for Q4, I guess it is, or the period. I don't know what they call their Qs. I think they have a different fiscal period. I'm not sure, but whatever. Whenever their last quarter ended, I think they're a month. I think they have a really weird date that their quarter ends on, but whatever. They're pre-announcing revenue. They always pre-announce as a matter of routine. So they're going to be pre-announcing the revenue probably this week. It's Wednesday. Honestly, probably tomorrow morning. Looking at the pattern, they're probably going to pre-announce revenue tomorrow morning. And based on the commentary on the conference call just a month ago, it sounded pretty bullish. So just based on that bullish commentary, I'm guessing that the revenue will come in above analyst estimates tomorrow morning. And then hopefully I'm looking at a target of 1370 to 15 tomorrow on Berna, but might fail. They might miss. It might just be in line, right? So risk reward and everything, you got to allocate properly, put in only what you're willing to lose. So I'm in 1250 call options for March with an amount I'm willing to lose if I'm wrong. But I do really like that risk reward. So pay attention to Berna newsfeed the rest of the week. Freebie stock trade idea for you guys, for you who are not in our Discord yet. If it works out, we expect to see you in our Discord the following day, the same day, right?
You know what's performing nicely today is MBIS. They had news this morning.
That news last night, actually. It was
And
last
it was
night.
today. They received the city approval for the first gigawatt data center in Missouri.
That was last night. That news
Oh.
was last night.
Oh, I thought that was this morning.
Wasn't that with the 2.5 billion offering or something? Was that the one?
No, that was APLD. The
yeah.
APLD news was this
Yeah.
morning. I mean, these data centers, so much stuff going on in data centers. That was with BW and APLD. That was this morning. NBIS was last night. Had a muted reaction last night and big reaction now. I own this in my long-term account, but I never know how to play these AI data center stocks. It's too confusing for me. Because they're almost always paired with some sort of offering around the same time. And there's so many question marks in terms of timelines and how much money they need to raise to build it and what the margins are going to. It's just very complicated for me. So, I just, aside from cores, which we all crushed because that was like the first data center play to like explode. And we're really early on this with the Godfather. But since then, since it became a popular trade and every single, Bitcoin miner got into it, plus other ones that weren't even Bitcoin miners, I've just avoided it because it's very hard for me to figure out what the price action is going to be at announcement time. I can't figure it out. So like I own NBIS long term, but trying to trade them around announcements, I get very tentative. I don't know. We're looking for an expert in that who can like immediately tell me if like when Cypher comes out and does a deal, all these data centers, like, okay, this deal's great. We're going straight up and to the right today. If you can tell me that, if you've got this figured out, join our Discord and you can help us figure out how to trade data center catalysts. But for me, it's very difficult.
Yeah, I put a new link in YouTube link for the Schwab Network.
Oh, it's a YouTube link. Oh, it's going to be free?
So
we can watch
even
it for
better.
free. Oh, beautiful. That's just in 8 minutes? All right,
That's
so
correct.
all attention is going to go to Arcat here soon. So, yeah, I don't.
After ASTS, I'm not really compelled to do much today.
Yeah, I made nice profits on it today. I'm all out right now.
Air falling back here. Daily chart still looks pretty good.
I mean, by the way, this is an active short squeeze, what you're seeing here. The short interest, we're at 52-week highs with the short interest of what is that? It's here. Let me do the math on that. The short interest. Oh, it's only 17%, but they're covering. They've been covering on air. You've commented, laptop, that you can kind of see that in the candles. Do you still see that in the candles? Evidence of short covering.
Oh yeah, you look at that and then you break them into smaller segments and then match them up with the volume bars.
What can you walk me through it a little bit here? What do you see here?
Yeah,
So we're looking at air.
Yeah.
Like, what time frame are you on?
So most of that happens. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of that gets muddled in at the open because everyone panics to, either buy, sell, or cover, I guess I'll say. So I don't really see that today.
Hmm.
I don't see that with the big drop at 9:30 at the open, and then the run up, and now just kind of the rollover.
I mean, you
Which
had
is
these
kind of,
two big candles. This 80 set. Like, I don't know. I thought you were trying to tell me the other day that when shorts cover, they'll do it in like bigger blocks. And when they're like people who want to buy long, then just what? They maybe do a VWAP buy program throughout the day, but like the short covering is more of a panic. Is that kind of what you were trying to
more
convey?
systematic. I guess I would say more systematic, and yeah, it is. It has to be evidenced in large blocks because short sellers have, especially institutional owners have large amounts of shares that they have to unload. So yes,
Yeah.
you see that in those block trades.
Hmm.
So what am I looking at? Let's see.
I'm trying to figure
I
out if this
think
is a
maybe was it on?
right here.
I think was it 3-2 that you saw the first two 5-minute candles?
Yeah, so that was 5-minute candles.
Oh, right here.
Okay.
Look at that.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm trying to
Tell you
figure
what,
out
on the daily
what do you
chart,
see
you know
right
what
here?
chart looks? Go ahead, Ben.
No, right now on the 1 minute chart, I'm trying to figure out if it's a buy here for the day.
Support area. I see that. It looks like it. The chart
I
that's
mean,
going to catch a lot of people's eyes today is going to be MBIS. Look at that, getting over the 20 and 50 DMA on the daily chart. That looks pretty good. Maybe even go do that gap fill there around 102.
yeah, let me look at that right now. NBIS.
I still love that Amazon chart.
I own it. I own it long term. Yeah, that's a nice looking chart. Wow, this 1 minute chart looks great. The 5 minute too. I don't know. A lot of crisscrossing over these moving averages on the daily charts. I don't have a strong feeling yet on the daily, but yeah, it looks great. NBIS. Amazon I own in my long term account. Let's see. Oh wow, this has really come down from the earnings report. I forget the
It got
reason.
over the nice level too. If you look at the daily, I think it was like 215.
196.
214.40 is a level I had that I like to watch.
Oh,
Back over that, but I think this is gonna fill this gap sooner than later, around 220.
yeah. Then it's got another gap. So it's got a gap
Yeah.
on February 5th, and it's got another gap on February 4th, or actually
That gap to fill what
5th and the 6th.
Yeah, I got two gaps in.
231. 231.82.
Yeah.
11:27. We have 3 minutes left. Yeah, Izzy was right. He was saying to load the boat on this one.
Yeah, I'm thinking of maybe. I did take some profits on RCAT earlier, so I think I'm gonna increase my position again here ahead of this interview right here, right now.
Yeah,
Just got more RCAT.
Yeah, 196 he's been in. I think he tagged me and you, Ben.
Tagged this where in the Discord.
Yeah, that he was hopping in long Amazon.
I don't know. I don't trade the big caps a lot unless it's like a huge catalyst. Well, you know what? I don't trade anything a lot unless there's a huge catalyst. But big caps, I just prefer just owning them in my long-term account, which is what I do with Amazon.
Yeah, the video just been chopping around there. You know, I was at somewhere yesterday. And it was like I was talking to this one guy. He's never done stocks in his life. He's like, yeah, I just put 50% of my cash into NVIDIA.
Oh.
That
Ah.
gives me a little hesitant. You have people that have know
Yeah.
nothing about the markets that are getting in, and they see all this stuff, and it's like a euphoric state that they think they're going to get rich on Nvidia now. It's kind of an interesting take. Normally, when you start to see stuff like this, you see a pullback of significance.
I got out of Nvidia like 3 or 4 quarters ago when I saw some signs that there's a lot of buzz and momentum around AMD, and thoughts that maybe AMD could take some market share from them away. I don't know that that's happened, but I rotated out of Nvidia into AMD and a few other names, which I forget what they are now.
Yeah.
So
wow,
Ben,
I
are you
missed that.
still in RTX?
Yeah, in my short-term account, I am. Yeah.
Because there's this meeting going on at the White House,
Is it
and so
happening right now?
No, it's today.
I'm in it. I think RTX goes much higher still because of this war. I think
need
it's
it. I have calls expiring this week that I'm down on.
I think RTX going over 215. But I'm not doing with call options anymore. The easy money was made, and the timing of it, that was easy. But at this point, I'm just swinging some common shares.
All right, it's 11:30. I just
Yeah,
saw
we gotta
it.
go. We gotta go
All
listen to
right.
RCAT. All right.
Take care, everyone. Have a
Thanks,
good
everyone.
one. And
Take
we'll see
care.
you next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.